ESPN's 2023 College Football All-America team was just released. We'll go over that as well. So lots to get to on the program today.
By the way, I found out yesterday, got official word yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The 12 days of Christmas starts on Christmas Day. We are not in the 12 days of Christmas. It starts on Christmas Day, and then it's after.
It's after Christmas?
Yes. So Christmas Day is the first day of Christmas. And it runs through like January 5th or whatever 12 days from there is, yeah.
Did you know that, Zach?
No.
I
thought it started at the 1st of December.
Yeah, I wonder how, I thought it started 12 days before the 25th. So that would be what, the 13th? I wonder how many people knew that it started on Christmas Day. Is that breaking news? Do we need the breaking news sounder? I don't know
if it's breaking news. I was just told that was the case.
Wow, I bet a low percentage of people knew that. I would bet a low percentage of people. Zach, how are you this morning?
Doing well.
So last night, Jaren Jackson Jr. goes for a career-high 44 points, 7 rebounds, couple of assists, 4 steals. I think he had a block as well. Derrick Rose, solid game for the veteran, 19 points, 6 assists. And Vince Williams continues to play pretty well, 10.7 rebounds. But as you mentioned, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Des Bane, that's been it so far this year. And Des Bane unable to play last night because of an illness. Hopefully he'll be able to play tomorrow night when they switch venues and the Rockets come to Memphis and play the Grizzlies here. Grizzlies have 1 win at home, and the Rockets, what do they have, 1 win away?
Yes.
Yeah, so something has to give. But I think what we saw last night, aside from Jaren's got that ability to do these type of things, which we already knew, it just further exposed some of those wings that the Grizzlies have on this roster, that they just can't play the game at this level consistently to help the team.
Yeah, it's, last night, Zaire goes 0 for 6 from 3. We see the return of Jake LaRavia. He goes 0 for 3 from 3-point range. And, you throw in Jalen Newell, who will probably, his last game for now. He's 0 for 2. I mean, the bench was generally really bad, but with Desmond Bane out, you just need somebody at least to step forward and do something, and it just isn't happening. LaRavia on the year now is 2 for 15 from 3-point range, and that's his thing. If he can't make threes, there's no reason for it. It's crazy. He goes down to the G League, he shoots great, and he's unbelievable. But for whatever reason, between South Haven and FedEx Forum or wherever they are, he cannot shoot. He can't make threes at the NBA level. And he kept switching back and forth last night. Sometimes he had the glasses on, sometimes he had the glasses off. It's whatever. But the bottom line, whether they were on or off, he can't make a three. Zaire, for whatever reason, he struggles. But I mean, if you look up and down their percentages, 3-point percentages, outside of Bane, and Kennard, who obviously isn't there right now, it's pretty rough go. I mean, they continue to shoot a bunch of threes, but they continue to not make a bunch of threes. They are still last in the NBA in 3-point percentage. I mean, there's a team out there that's lost 21 straight games.
Yes.
They shoot better from 3-point range than the Grizzlies do. The Grizzlies are last in the NBA in 3-point percentage, but 5th in attempts. It continues. They continue to shoot, but continue to generally not make 3-pointers.
By the way, I looked at that box score for Detroit. Joe Harris, DNP, CD. Joe Harris is a pretty good 3-point shooter. He can't even play for a team that's lost 21 straight games. And as you said, the Grizzlies, outside of Des Bane and Kennard, who struggled early before getting hurt. He wasn't his usual self to start the season. Last night, the Grizzlies went 10 of 38 from 3. 26.3%. That's what Captain Math will tell you. Yet, the team fought back. I think they made it a one-possession game late in the third, early in the fourth, whatever it was. And then Houston went on the run and put them away. Just not enough firepower for the Grizzlies. The Rockets were led by Tari Eason. He had 25 points off the bench. So they have a lot of options. Jabari Smith Jr. had 20. Dylan the Villain had 11. So it wasn't like Şengün went off or Jalen Green like he did the last time they played the Grizzlies. He didn't go off either. It's a solid, much improved Houston team. But a team that's certainly vulnerable, and Memphis at full strength, I would certainly favor the Grizzlies every time. But they're not. And it's sad. I know that Taylor Jenkins had some interesting things to say after the game. I think one of the things was Santi Aldama had a bad game, and he ended up not playing him in the second half. He didn't like what he saw there. One thing about Santi is you're getting inconsistent play. At times, he looks spectacular. At other times, he does not look like he's engaged. You're getting pretty consistent play from Roddy, but Roddy's not an NBA starter. He's a 8th, 9th guy. That's the situation they're in.
I don't really understand the Santi thing. Hell, he still led the bench in scoring last night. He was,
Defensively, maybe he wasn't doing something he was supposed to do defensively. It was interesting.
I mean, he at least made a 3, which is good. Unlike most of the other guys, he had the only 3 off the bench until Gilliard came in late and made one. I didn't understand what was the deal was with Santi as far as that was concerned. I mean, you needed to be some offense off the bench, and nobody else was providing it. I mean, you got Zaire out there. He had a couple of big threes in that fourth quarter that if they could have made them, gave them an opportunity, and obviously he missed every one of them.
Open 3 opportunities that he missed, yeah.
So I don't know why. I just don't understand the whole Santi, why he wasn't in there at all in the second half of that game.
So with the loss, the Grizzlies now 6-17. They have a game, as I mentioned, tomorrow night at home against Houston, the return of Dylan Brooks, and then Monday at OKC before going to New Orleans Tuesday, and the return of John Morant. And again, John Morant will speak to the media. It's not open to the public. He'll speak to the media tomorrow.
The Grizzlies, by the way, I was looking again, still last in the NBA too on wide open threes. They shoot 34% on wide open threes. Like, that is, in the NBA, like, if you have decent shooters at all, quite frankly, like 34%. I mean, wide open threes in the NBA, you should be, if you're a good team, especially if you consider yourself a good shooting team. Grizzlies, obviously, they shoot a bunch of threes, so you must consider yourself a good shooting team. Like, you need to be at 40%. Like, they give up over 40%, but they shoot 34% on wide open threes, which is, that's crazy to shoot that bad of a percentage for, again, a team who prides themselves on three-point shooting and wants to shoot a bunch of threes. If you can't make wide open threes, you might as well not be taking threes at all.
No, you're right. I'll often go before a game, go down to the floor and watch these guys shoot for the Grizzlies, for the visiting team. And they don't miss. These are open threes. Once in a while, somebody will be defending them from the organization, from the team, but most of the time they're shooting open threes, right? Practicing before the game. They don't miss. I'm sure in shoot-around, they don't miss. So you're right. Absolutely. These are the best players in the world in this particular game called basketball. And if it's wide open, they should be knocking them down. Even marginal three-point shooters should be knocking them down. I mean, you're not supposed to have bricklayers in the NBA. And unfortunately for the Grizzlies, it may not be that bad, but outside of Dez and Kennard, and we'll see what Ja can do as far as shooting threes. He seemed to improve last year, but you can't always count on him knocking down a three, even an open three. And some of these other guys, it's just painful. Zaire 0 for 6, as you mentioned last night. LaRavia just can't make an NBA three. So, yeah, the struggles continue mightily. Now, elsewhere in the NBA, last night, speaking of struggling mightily, as we said, the San Antonio Spurs and the Detroit Pistons continue to lose. It is hard to believe that a team can lose 21 straight, which is the case for Detroit, and now 7 or 18 straight, I believe it is now for the Spurs, if I'm not mistaken, 18 straight. Spurs lose to the Lakers, good effort, but lose at home 122-119, but that was the Lakers without LeBron. And then Detroit lost to Philadelphia as Embiid went off again, as he usually does, 129-111. So the two teams have combined to lose 39 straight games.
It's a rough go. And I don't. There's not a whole lot of signs. I mean, especially with Detroit. I don't know. Like, I don't know when these are going to end, other than when they play each other. Then one of them will end.
Look, somebody has to lose, I understand, but it doesn't mean that the same two teams have to lose every time. You look at that Detroit team, they have a lot of talent. You look, and of course, this is the NBA. You look at the Spurs, they have Wembanyama and a few other guys who can play, certainly at this level. But if you're not 10 deep with good players all around, and you're going up against the talent in this league.
It's also the two highest paid coaches in the NBA.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know that. I knew Popovich was up there. Is it Monty Williams now?
Monty just got the massive contract this past offseason.
Wow. Again, how much is it his fault and how much of it is just the lack of talent? But again, I look at the team and I go, are they really lacking talent? The way he's played Jaden Ivey, I'm a little confused with that. They got Bogdanovich back. He had a big game last night. Wiseman actually got some playing time and did some good things. I know there was some rumors swirling yesterday around the James Wiseman. Would the Grizzlies go after James Wiseman? Again, I mentioned it earlier. Joe Harris, DNP, CD. Coach decided Monty Williams not to play Joe Harris, who I remember not too long ago for the Nets was a really good, solid player, starting sometimes, coming off the bench other times, and hitting threes. But they are terrible. 21 straight, and the Spurs, again, even with Wembanyama going for 30 last night. But AD, again, has been really, really good. It's just been a real good 2-year run for Anthony Davis, staying away most of the time from injuries, whereas a lot of his career has been plagued by injury, even though he has had a Hall of Fame career. Also last night, speaking of Hall of Famers, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 64 points. And then, after the game, that's when the fun began. Because Indiana, so correct me if I'm wrong, either one of you guys, if I read this right. So they took the game ball, the Pacers, to give it to Oscar Tshiebwe because he scored his first NBA point on a free throw.
Correct.
And so Giannis went after them into the locker room or down the hallway to get the ball back?
Yes, in the hallway. There was Rick Carlisle said, maybe a fracas.
A little fracas going on?
I can't remember what other word he used, but
did he go brouhaha?
Said the GM got elbowed in the ribs.
Oh wow!
By one of the Bucks players, I guess, or somebody from the Bucks. But yes, they took the ball for Oscar Tshiebwe because he got his first NBA point. Bucks and Giannis really wanted that game ball badly, and were bound and determined to get it. And they were willing to go back there. The game was chippy anyway because you had Giannis get thrown to the floor by Aaron Nesmith, and that caused a bit of that was I don't know if we'll call that a fracas, maybe a Donnybrook. I don't know, whatever you want to do.
Nice.
Bobby Portis had weird eyes going on to like go crazy.
Googly eyes going?
Giannis's brother came flying off was good ready to want to go kill somebody off the bench. I mean, there was a lot of, there was a lot of chippiness in the game to begin with. So I think the Bucks assumed that the Pacers were doing this like on purpose of like, we're not going to let him have the game ball. But they say it was just because Oscar Tshiebwe scored his first point, so they're going to give it to him. Big misunderstanding. Everybody was upset. And then the ball that Giannis got, Giannis says he doesn't really believe it's the actual game ball, which I don't know why this matters. Who cares? If you have a basketball, here's a little thing. You could tell your friends it's the game ball. They're not going to know. They have no clue.
Right.
No, now, unless it's some ragtag ball. Like, yeah, that's the game ball. Like, who cares? Like, what ball you end up with, who really cares? You can claim it's the game ball. Nobody can ever argue it with you.
What's proper etiquette? Indiana was the home team. What? How does it work?
Well, the thing is, there's two game. There's always an alternate game ball. So
Right.
one take one game ball, one take the other game ball. If you absolutely have to have a game ball, whatever.
But did they ever use the second one? Did like spit get on the first ball and they had to wipe it off and bring in the second ball? I mean, that's probably what he's complaining about. That ball was not ever used. I never shot that basketball. It was the other one that he gave Sheboy for that 1 point.
Again, who cares?
Right. He apparently does. He apparently cares so much that he wants to fight Indiana. He wants to fight the whole state.
Again, I think that was because they thought Indiana was doing this on purpose because of all of the stuff that happened in the game. So I think he was like, "Oh, you guys are going to try to do this little thing."
okay.
So that's why I think my guess is that's why he was a little more upset at the beginning because they thought they were doing this on purpose, like, "Hey, let's take the game ball so he can't have it," type thing.
Gotcha.
Whereas, again, I can only believe the Pacers that, and it would make sense. A guy scores his first NBA point to give him the game ball. But I don't think, and Indiana's not thinking about, oh, wait, Giannis broke the Bucks scoring record. And Lillard also brought up the fact that they thought maybe the Pacers were upset that they thought that late in that game, Giannis probably should have been out of the game, but yet they had him in there to try and kind of get to add to that point total. So I don't know. I think there was just a lot of, they just played last week in the in-season tournament. I think there's just a little frustration between the two teams, and it just, it like Giannis's brother when he got tackled, like, dude, he wanted to go. I look like he came off the bench like a rocket before somebody grabbed him. Like, dude, what are you? Now, granted, it doesn't matter for him if he gets suspended because he doesn't play anyway. So, like, it's suspend me for the rest of the season. It'll affect my games played by like one. But like he was going crazy over there on the bench.
Well, a lot of people were saying that this was kind of in reaction to having lost to Indiana in the in-season tournament.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh,
They
okay.
just played last week.
Oh, I thought you meant in this game there was just a lot of like.
There wasn't. I mean, there's.
Oh, there was throughout the game.
Again, Giannis got thrown to the ground and it almost started a fight. I mean, he got thrown to the ground by Aaron Nesmith. Like there was stuff in this game. They thought.
But do you think that was a reaction from the last game, a carryover from the last game, in which obviously Indiana won to move into the?
I just don't think these two teams like each other very much.
They're only separated by 3 games, by the way, in the standings. But Indiana to become as relevant as they've become this year, to get under the skin of Milwaukee, that's saying an awful lot. And oh, by the way, Thursday of next week, so 1 week from today, Ja's first home game since his return. Thank you, Siri. They're playing the Indiana Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
So how about that? But anyway, it overshadows a 64-point performance by Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing performance. And he did it without making a three, which today's NBA.
Wow.
To score 64 points without making a three. He attempted 3, went 0 for 3 from 3. But like that's amazing. Amazing stuff.
Okay.
20, what was he? 20 for 20. What was he from the field? 20 of something.
I don't have the box in
20 of
front of me.
28, I believe
20
it was.
of 28. Wow.
And then 24 of 32 at the free throw line. 0 for 3 for three-point range. Like you're not going to see many 60-point games in these days without making any threes.
I would say probably he's number 1 now, ahead of LeBron James. When LeBron James, and look, still there are people that do not want to be in the way of LeBron James, even at age 38. He's still a locomotive. But I think Antetokounmpo has passed him as far as physical specimens going to the hole that you don't want to be anywhere near. And so when he starts to get going downhill to the hole, there's El Toro defense. So I would say Giannis is probably number 1 now. You get out of the way. I mean, obviously, there's guys that are going to try to take a charge and things of that nature, but you don't want to get dunked on by Giannis. And LeBron, still at 38, is doing the same thing where, defender looks up and goes, oh, God, it's James coming at me. All right, when we return, Draymond Green, suspended indefinitely. We'll talk about that issue. We'll also get to the college basketball evening last night. Some surprises around the league. We got NCAA news from yesterday. Huge news. More news involving the University of Memphis. We also got some local high school football news. Some big news from yesterday that John Varlas broke. We'll have that for you coming up. And we'll take your calls and texts at 901-360-8255. Folks, a great option. At around Christmas time, of course, you'll see people getting engaged. You'll see all kinds of great presents. And then you always see those commercials about the big, beautiful vehicle that has the bow around it, because people do purchase vehicles for loved ones during Christmas time. And even right after Christmas, the best sales around as far as cars are concerned, vehicles are concerned. And that's what they have for you down at All Star Chevrolet. They are ringing in the Christmas holiday and the new year with sales aplenty. If you're ready for a new Silverado, All Star Chevy in Olive Branch has financing down to 1.9 or up to $10,000 cash. Plus, make no payment for 90 days, and your good credit deserves it. You can check out all the red tags they have on all these great vehicles, including Tahoes and Equinox, Trailblazers. Families love the Traverse with the third row seat, so you can do more together as a family. Christmas, holiday trips. What are you doing for New Year's Eve? What are you driving? Check out these great vehicles at All Star Chevrolet. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare workers. You get an extra $500 bonus. If you want a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned, All Star is loaded up with them. And if it's not there, just ask Jeff. He'll find it for you. Kevin and Jeff and everyone at All Star Chevrolet asked me to wish everyone on their behalf a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Find new roads at All Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com. We are just underway on a Thursday. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the Callaway Paradigm Woods, forged carbon for unparalleled distance and forgiveness. Now up to $100 off. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Do you have equipment taking up space in your shed or on your lot? What do you do if those pieces are really big? Ever wondered their value? Purple Wave Auction is an online auction company that sells used equipment. Thousands of items are up for bid right now at purplewave.com. Our transparent auction process makes it easy to sell that Kenworth semi you have sitting behind the barn. Or how about an upgrade to your New Holland Workmaster? Take a moment and check out purplewave.com. Purple Wave Auction, straight, simple, sold.
Don't miss your Memphis Grizzlies tomorrow when they host Dillon Brooks and the Houston Rockets on Ford Scholars Night. Arrive early. The first 5,000 receive Grizzlies holiday wrapping paper. Secure your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visiting grizzlies.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show. Right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew. Thursday is Hotel Guest Appreciation Day. Canopy by Hilton guests get 10% off all food. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
separate accidents that happened a little bit earlier on 55 northbound near Brooks, and also there at 240. Just give yourself a little bit of extra time this morning as it starts to build even more coming up through DeSoto County on 55 going north up through South Haven. It's crowded over here now at times on I-40 westbound passing Sycamore View Road. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Memphis. Call Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out online, tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
All right, so the NBA acted very swiftly in announcing that Draymond Green has been suspended indefinitely, can still practice with the team. Don't know how many games this will entail, but there will be a big meeting, according to reports today, with league officials, with Mike Dunleavy Jr., the general manager, with Draymond himself, to look at a path for him to be counseled and helped for the future. I don't know. What was your take when you heard this?
Well, it's kind of like the first Ja suspension last year. They started that with an indefinite thing, and now they're going to, just to get it done, and now they're going to set these terms of, hey, you got to do this and this and this, and we're going to all this stuff. And we'll see what it ends up being. But I think it's a sign that the NBA is kind of done with this stuff. Like you got to, some things got to start changing for Draymond Green. So I don't know who it was that put together the compilation video of all of the different things that he is, all his on court stuff. You start watching that, it's like, oh my goodness gracious, it's amazing how much. And that's not even talking about the yelling at officials, all of that stuff. Just the kicking and hitting and everything else and hard fouls and all of that stuff that he has done. I guess my hope is that this is a sign that the NBA is finally like, listen, we're not doing this anymore. You gotta figure some things out. And this will, if it kind of is the Ja path, we'll see what this ends up being. And then you would think that if there is another incident, then it gets where we get a really long suspension.
I think the NBA has been negligent as far as handling Draymond Green. There's been too many incidents to finally get to this point now, which again, as you said, equates to basically the first suspension for Ja Morant after the first incident. And I hate to keep comparing it to Ja, but Ja Morant is here in Memphis, so it's an easy comparison, although completely different reasons. Who knows how long an indefinite suspension goes? When do they know that he has completed what they want him to complete as far as counseling? It's anger management, basically. That's what it is. The guy's already said after previous incidents, that's who he is. That he's not going to change the way he plays. So I'm surprised there isn't a number attached to this. I wonder how many games it will end up being. Again, that's going to be their call, but how do you know that, okay, he missed 3 games and went to a couple of counseling sessions and he's ready to go?
It's the same thing they did with Ja. Like they started as indefinite.
But again, Ja didn't have Ja didn't have the track record of all the other incidents. I'm saying they waited.
I know, but
too long
they started with an indefinite and then went to an 8-game suspension. Like they'll after all of these things, they'll settle on a number.
Oh, okay. So you think
it started as an indefinite when Ja was suspended the first time.
So you think they'll eventually get to a number and then take those games he's already missed into consideration to get that number?
I would guess so, using the Ja example. That's good. That's why I used the Ja example. That's what they did with Ja.
Well, Golden State right now is on the outside looking in as far as the playoffs and play-in is concerned, and the numbers will tell you that they're not as good a team without the guy. I mean, has as bad of a reputation he has on the court with the way he plays the game. I mean, obviously, he's still a very, very talented player. That reputation, obviously, from things like the incident with Jurkic. But how about what he did rebounding yesterday? Did you see that? He had 17 rebounds for Phoenix in the return of Bradley Beal in the first game with Beal, Durant, and Devin Booker, the big three. So I still like his comment from the other day, what he had to say about Draymond Green. When he says, I'm paraphrasing, like that brother's disturbed, or that's one angry brother, or whatever the hell he said about him. But yeah, look, I don't care about Draymond Green. Again, I think he's a very talented basketball player. He does an awful lot of the dirty work for the Golden State Warriors in their championship runs, but he has gone overboard as far as dirty work into basically assault on the court several times. So we'll see if he can get his act straight. I doubt very much that he will get that act straightened out. I think he will still be that same player when he returns.
See, and I think another part of in going by some of the stuff that you heard from some of the NBA insiders, I think there's also the part that the NBA is like, that afterward, that Draymond Green's whole thing is like, I was just trying to sell a foul call.
Well, it's a bunch of BS.
Like, you just backhanded a dude in the face. Like, your whole thing is, I was just trying to sell a foul call. Like,
he wasn't even fouling him.
He doesn't, there's no real, like, it doesn't seem like any of these incidents. Now, he says, I'm not going to apologize for something I tried to do, but even this, it's not, he acts like he's apologizing, but he's really not. Like, he's just like, he has an explanation of what it was. And say, dude, you smacked a dude in the face. If that's how you sell fouls, that's an idiotic way to sell fouls, first of all. And you smacked a guy in the face. How hard is it to just say, man, I'm sorry, I did not mean to do that. Whatever. I'm sorry that I hit him in the face. But it's always, so I think, I would love to hear what the meetings are like and what is being said, but I would assume this suspension, whatever it ends up being, kind of sets the groundwork of this is it. Another one of these deals, and we are going to get into a really lengthy suspension.
Yesterday, another day of the court hearings and the whole civil suit against Ja Morant. We had a bunch of depositions, and I think now it's off until next week. They'll continue this conversation. I don't even know what's going on with this. All I know is there must have been 1,000 people over there watching and playing in the pickup games, because you had a deposition that included Mike Miller. You had a deposition including Trey Draper, Josh Holloway. I don't even know if he's even taken the stand yet. Mike Miller said it was an aggressive check. Morant stepped forward. Holloway stepped back, but they both kind of got into a defensive position. So as the court turns, the latest soap opera, that was kind of the highlights from yesterday. Again, I think it continues on next week. I don't think there's anything today. I could be mistaken. I'm kind of following it loosely. Let's just put it that way. But when I saw Mike Miller and Trey Draper's depositions, I'm thinking to myself, I think everybody was over there but me. Zach, were you over there? Were you at the pickup games?
Wish.
I don't know if you wanted to be.
The Mike Miller deposition they were playing, he was on our show on his way to that deposition.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Mike came on the show and talked about that. So a lot of these guys can obviously...
He didn't talk about that, but he was on his way to that deposition when he was on our show.
No, or we talked about it. I vaguely remember that, but now that you brought it up, I do kind of remember that that was the case, that he was getting ready to do that. But it's interesting, again, how many people, how many witnesses that they can bring up, because it seemed like the whole damn city was part of that. Yesterday, in college basketball, last night, Arkansas State, give it up for the Red Wolves. They went to Louisville, clocked Louisville 75-63, had a 20-point lead late in the game, win by 12. This is not a great Arkansas State team by any stretch of the imagination. But again, the struggles for Kenny Payne and the talk from the national media last night was rabid, that they need to let this guy go now. It is not working at all.
Well, that loss wasn't the most embarrassing thing of the day for Louisville. They had the kid who they said entered the transfer portal, and then he said, I didn't tell anybody in Louisville I was entering the transfer portal.
And he was in the stands.
I don't know what's going on at Louisville. Like, they got... I don't understand how that misunderstanding happens. Like, that you say, hey, he's informed us that he is entering the transfer portal, and he comes out and says, I never told anybody at Louisville I'm entering the transfer portal. So I have no idea. But the Kenny Payne era at Louisville, not going well.
Does it end soon? What are the odds he makes it through a second season?
I get it. You start losing games like this. I mean, what they end up last year? How many wins they got?
3 or 4, wasn't it?
It was like nothing. They're going to get blown out, I'm sure, constantly in the ACC. Again, you're saying kids are in the transfer portal when they're not. I would guess that it's probably there's a good chance that it ends very soon.
Nice win though for the Red Wolves. Also last night, McNeese State will wait. First game after the 10-game suspension. McNeese beat Southern Miss 67-48. Mississippi State edged Murray State 85-81. 8th-ranked Creighton went out to Vegas and lost 79-64. Got thumped by the Runnin' Rebs.
Yeah, for them to only score 64 points is crazy because Creighton scores a ton of points. That's all they do. They run up and down the court. They shoot a bunch of threes. They score a bunch of points. So that's for them to only score 64 points is crazy. Now it's part of it because they were terrible from 3-point range. And when they're terrible from 3-point range, that could happen. But yeah, that is not a good showing by Creighton, but that is a good Creighton team.
Florida Atlantic from the American all over Florida International 94-60. There was the big story yesterday afternoon.
The big one last night was the loss by Northwestern to Chicago State.
Yes.
So Chicago State has a win over Northwestern, who has a win over Purdue.
Go figure.
Chicago State, I think that was their third win of the year.
Third.
They're bad even amongst mid-major programs.
I wasn't even sure they were a D1 team. I had to look that up.
For them to beat Northwestern, who beat Purdue, that's bizarre.
The NCAA yesterday said it will not prevent multi-time transferring athletes from playing immediately after this ruling in the state of Ohio. As a result, impacting D1 student athletes, the association will not enforce the year in residency requirement for multiple time transfers and will begin notifying member schools. So for the time being, the one-time transfer rule is blocked, can transfer multiple times without a waiver. But I believe this is through December 27th.
Yeah, but there's another court, so it could change back on the 27th.
So you take advantage of it right now.
But as of right now, all of those guys, Ole Miss has Brandon Murray, who's been waiting for a waiver. But if they want to play him this weekend, Saturday, when they're playing Cal down in San Antonio, they can play him. And they also ruled that the NCAA cannot punish schools if it changes back. They cannot punish schools, and it's not going to count as a year of eligibility used, anything like that. So basically, you are free right now to play any of these multi-time transfers who are currently waiting on waivers.
But if it goes back, you won't be penalized. The kids won't be penalized, but they won't be able to play moving forward. Right?
Well, yeah, if it goes back, then they're still right in the same spot they are now of waiting for a waiver if they could get one.
Dwayne is dialed in. Wants to talk a little bit about the Draymond Green situation. Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. With Draymond Green, I don't want to hear, hey, he's suspended indefinitely. Miss 2 games, you miss 6 more. No. If Ja got 25 games, 25, you can't get Draymond 8 games. You just can't do it, man. Because what you're saying is, hey, we love you, Golden State. That's basically what you're saying. We love you. We're not going to hit you hard. We just got to teach them a little lesson. If you need to make an example out of somebody, that's the guy you need to make an example out of.
I'm with you.
You have to say, look, it's 20 games, period. We gave Ja 25 for his conduct and the way he behaved. Although it was off the court, it was bad for the league. And what you are doing, Draymond, continuously every year, there's 4 or 5 incidents every year. What he had 38 technicals last year. I mean, come on, man. You cannot get this guy 8 games and expect everybody to say, hey, that's fair.
Dwayne, I am with you 100%, my friend. Thank you for the call. Appreciate that. There is no question they need to make an example out of him, and who knows if they will.
My guess, my guess is it's going to be 10. I think they're going to go twice the 5-game suspension that he got. I think this one will be 10. But it will be setting the standard of, you do it again, then that's, I think, when you'll get up to 25, stuff like that. If they're going to make it quite clear to him, we're done with this, and if you don't stop it, then it's going to get severe. But I have it's just a pure guess. But just because they did the 5 the first time, I have a feeling they're going to end up at 10 this time. This hour of our program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince is where you'll find them. That's where you'll find a lot of great gift ideas for anybody on that holiday shopping list, plus anything you need for yourself around the house to get any DIY projects done. They've got the Benjamin Moore paints. They also got the key fobs. If you need a new key fob for that car, don't go to the dealership. That's going to cost you way too much money. Go over to East Memphis Ace Hardware. They can take care of you and save you a lot of money with those. Anything you need and a great staff to help you find it, that's what you'll find at East Memphis Ace Hardware.
I was a guest yesterday on the Grisbeat show on Grind City Media, and I love Jarvo, friend of a show. He said, I think we were talking about 10 games maybe for Dre, and he said, add a 0 to it. I love it. Add a 0 to it. Make it 100. Thank you, Jarvo. We'll take a quick timeout, come back with more, including this ESPN college football All-America team, plus a retirement of a legend in high school football coaching here in the Memphis area. All that, plus the Tigers' conference football schedule released yesterday. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis, home of the blues, world-renowned barbecue, and award-winning craft beers. Now you can take a dive into these great libations with City Brew Tours Memphis. City Brew Tours Memphis offers a craft beer adventure with behind-the-scenes access to local breweries. See for yourself how craft beer is made, learn about different styles of beer, delve into beer history, and discover the secrets behind the Memphis brews. Best of all, with City Brew Tours, you will take your taste buds on a journey with beer tastings at each brewery stop, complemented by local snacks to munch on. City Brew Tours handles transportation to the breweries, too. You drink, they drive. Looking for the perfect gift idea this holiday season? Treat your loved ones to an unforgettable experience. A local craft beer tour with City Brew Tours Memphis. Head over to citybrewtours.com/Memphis and brew up your craft beer adventure today. Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, SIG, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Our buddy John Barlas from the Daily Memphian, who will join us tomorrow morning at 7:25, had the story yesterday of the retirement of Bobby Alston, who after 47 years at MUS is calling it quits. 26 as their head football coach. He was also track and field coach. He was the athletics director, 4 state titles, one of the legends of coaching in the Memphis area. Bobby Alston, what an amazing career. I'm sure John will have a lot more to say about that tomorrow.
Yeah, certainly has been doing it a long time and doing it at a very high level. And that's a big hole for the folks over at MUS to replace, that's for sure. But kudos to him, and hope he enjoys retirement.
So yesterday they announced the American Conference football schedules, although we kind of knew what the schedule was, but then they had to alter it a bit because of the addition of Army. So I'm not sure if it changed anything with the Memphis schedule or not, but I had not known prior what it was until I saw this yesterday. So Memphis will play UAB, Charlotte, North Texas, and Rice at home. They will play Navy, UTSA, South Florida, and Tulane on the road. So even though I said previously that Memphis could be the favorite to win it with all the changes that have happened at Tulane and even with UTSA, with Frank Harris now finally gone after 25 years as their quarterback, with SMU leaving to go to the ACC, this is going to be tough. Last season, this season that we've just played, that we're still finishing up, easy schedule. Let's be honest. That was an easy schedule. Memphis did not have to play UTSA. They had SMU and Tulane at home. They lost both those games, but it was a lot more conducive to putting together a big season, which they did. This one is tougher in the sense that they play, out of those 8 games, the 4 toughest opponents may very well be the 4 road games. We know Texas San Antonio and Tulane is going to be tough. South Florida is rapidly improving. We saw the big jump they took last year under Alex Golish. Navy is never a good matchup, even though Memphis has handled them recently. Memphis doesn't have a great record in Annapolis against Navy. The home games, not real appealing off the top of my head. Now Charlotte is putting money into their NIL. We'll see how much they improve. I still think Trent Dilfer, give him some time at UAB. It's a rivalry game. I don't know about North Texas. I really don't know about Rice, although Rice actually was decent this year. But that schedule is tougher on the road. So, again, it'll be challenging for Memphis. Plus, we know they play Florida State on the road, non-conference schedule, and one of their non-conference home games is against Troy, a Troy team that has won the Sun Belt the last 2 years, although they just lost their head coach, John Sumrall, to, ironically, Tulane.
Yeah, basically the schedule, you replace SMU with Texas San Antonio, and then they rotated Temple out and put Rice in. Everybody else is you're playing the teams you played at home last year, you're on the road, and the ones you played on the road last year, you're playing at home next year.
Yeah, I thought maybe they throw in Army into the mix, and who knows when they'll get a chance to play Army. Again, they've played Army in the past. I've had the pleasure of going with the Tigers up to West Point and Mikey Stadium. Pretty amazing venue. But
I didn't look at the schedules. Anybody playing both Army and Navy? I didn't look at everybody's.
I didn't look at anybody else, so I'm not sure. Zach, can you check that out if you can, the American Conference football schedule that was released yesterday? If anybody's playing both Army and Navy this upcoming year, I would imagine there's a good chance. The ESPN 2023 College Football All-America team has been announced. I think they released it just this morning. Jaden Daniels, no surprise, the Heisman winner at quarterback. Cody Schrader and Ollie Gordon II from Oklahoma State. Schrader from Missouri, the running backs. Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, your wide receivers, Brock Bowers, your tight end from Georgia. Again, no surprise there. As far as, interesting, all-purpose player Ashton Jeanty from Boise State, who was the starting running back when Memphis played them and beat them. So a couple of guys on this team that Memphis played against, including Schrader, the running back from Missouri.
Schrader's year is an amazing story. I mean, the idea that he's a walk-on from a Division II. He's a Division II transfer, came in as a walk-on. and ends up, he finished, what I think, 9th in the Heisman voting, 8th or 9th in the Heisman voting, first team All-American. Like, he's an incredible story.
And then Malik Murphy, who was the backup at Texas at quarterback, has entered the transfer portal. And I can understand what he's trying to do. Obviously, you have Manning waiting in the wings. Ewers is coming back for another season, right? I think he's announced he's coming back. So it makes sense that Malik, who is a talented player, looks to move on with his career. What's a shame, though, is that he has to do it now because that's when teams need players. This is the world of the transfer portal, and he can't be with his team going into the playoffs. He has to pull out of the chance to play, or at least to be a part of the team.
But he's choosing to because he wants to get it done.
No, what I'm saying is you can't stay on the team once you've decided to go into the portal. So, and this is the time you have to go into the portal. I'm saying the timing of everything is bad.
Well, he could go in the portal later. He could play if he wanted to. He wants to get in there because he feels he needs to be in there early.
Yes, that's my point.
You don't have to.
Okay, you don't have to, but it's beneficial for you to get in as early as possible because teams out there are losing players and losing quarterbacks in this case, so they are looking to replace those quarterbacks. We see it happening all the time. Yesterday came the news that Grayson McCall is going to NC State. Grayson McCall, the former Coastal Carolina quarterback, who is very, very talented. We've seen a lot of moves already with QBs. Yesterday was the news of Rocket Sanders, the running back from Arkansas, going to South Carolina, staying within the conference. But yeah, I think it's while he doesn't have to do it, it's advantageous for him to do it now. And I hate that that's the timing of specifically collegiate sports where you have to, or specifically college football, where you have to leave now and you're unable to reap the benefits of being a part of a team that made it to the playoffs.
Sets up perfectly. Can see it already. Quinn Ewers gets banged up. Arch Manning comes in the playoff. Arch Manning leads Texas to a national championship. And the rest just goes down as a storybook from that point on with Arch Manning.
Hey, you know what? You don't wish any injury on anyone. I mean, I don't want to see that happen. But in football, there's always that possibility. You're a hammy away from playing in a game that you would not have played in because this kid Murphy would play in that scenario. Hopefully, though, for Texas fans and for yours, that does not happen. Well, 'tis the season for expressing thanks to your clients for their business throughout the year. Get them some delicious chocolates and candies from Dinstall's. Let them create a sweet thank you for your clients and your employees, but also for Christmas time, for the holiday season. Those treats make sense for your family as well. For the stocking stuffers, chocolates and candies from Dinstall's, it makes a lot of sense. From assorted chocolates to Cashew Crunch, Christmas tree pretzels, and those delicious turtlettes, let Dinstall's take care of all your holiday gift giving. Call today. Let them create sweet memories for your holidays. Or better yet, just stop by one of their 5 convenient locations: Laurelwood, Germantown, Collierville, Pleasant View, and downtown Dinstall's. Hey, Dinstall's makes sense 365 days a year, but certainly during the holidays, it makes perfect sense. Made in Memphis, enjoyed by the whole world, it's Dinstall's fine candies and chocolates, been in existence for over 120 years.
Is there anybody playing Army and Navy?
Yes, you got 4 teams playing.
Can I play both?
Who are they?
UAB, East Carolina, Charlotte, and Temple.
Could be some wins for the service academies right there, if you think about it. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back to open up hour number 2, we're talking Grizzlies with Sean Coleman. Then we'll talk Tigers basketball with Parth Upadhyay. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If you love sports and Mexican food, you can get the best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos and enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham. It's a holiday experience like no other. The Light Garden in Olive Branch. It's a walk through an entertainment extravaganza with hundreds of giant 3D Christmas light displays, photos with Santa, food and drinks, and special event nights, including fireworks on New Year's Eve. Bring the family out nightly from now through December 31st at Olive Branch City Park. Go to lightgarden.online for details and to buy tickets, and stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM for chances to win tickets to go see the Light Garden in Olive Branch.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
All 650 acquisition fees. Sportage R723 5498 MSRP 28940. Sorrento PG 424 MSRP 33010. Telluride RG 462822 MSRP 38705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024 with approved credit. Dealer.com.
Hey, my man Jeff Allen, what's going on for the holidays over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
It's the season of giving back at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, and I've got your holiday presents right here.
Tell us about it, Jeff.
Award-winning SUV 2024 Kia Sportage LX, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia Sorrento LX, perfect for your road trips, $329 a month. And the 2024 Kia Telluride LX, we got it at $459 a month, all 36-month lease.
Well, you can't get much better than that, Jeff. And all Kias come with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. And from all of us at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah, happy holidays.
Hey, this is Brian Dacus inviting you to join me and Brett Norsworthy this Friday from 3 to 6 at Sissy's Log Cabin, 4542 Poplar. Sissy's brand new store is open just in time for Christmas, and you really should check it out. We'll be giving away a pair of Liberty Bowl tickets featuring the hometown Memphis Tigers, and we'll also have some Tiger basketball tickets for Saturday's game against Clemson. So come join us on your way home this Friday, 3 to 6 at Sissy's Log Cabin, 4542 Poplar with Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Clearing up that earlier wreck on 55 northbound right there at 240. That one was out there for quite some time. We're looking at heavy traffic right now on 40 westbound from Germantown Parkway all the way up to Winton Road as that traffic continues to build. Coming in on 40 west there out of Fayette County into Shelby County. It's not too terribly bad on Billboard's Parkway as you get on to 240 coming in from Collierville. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in the Memphis area. Call Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out online. TomahawkCrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Cruising right along on a Thursday morning. Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. Currently 41 degrees, sunshine. We're looking at intervals of clouds and sunshine today with a high of 67 degrees. Wow. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low of 42. And then tomorrow for your Friday, showers possible with a high of 61 degrees. We're talking plenty of hoops in hour number 2 as we'll bring in Sean Coleman in just a second on the Grizzlies. Then Parth Upadhyay will join us in studio to talk Tigers basketball. And then in hour 3, it's all about the pigskin. the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, their Christmas sale continues at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the second hour of the program is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. Look, there's options in the jewelry world. You got the big box stores. You got some of the big name national brands. You also have local jewelers like James Gaddis Jewelers, who have been a part of the fabric of this community for years and years. Started way back, decades ago, on Summer Avenue, and have been at that Poplar Avenue location for the last quarter century. If you want that one-on-one, you want people to take care of that jewelry throughout the lifetime of the jewelry. You need a cleaning, you just bring it on in. You need a resetting. You know, fingers swell and they get smaller when you lose weight, and all of a sudden your ring doesn't fit anymore. They'll fix that for you. That's what they do at James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. James has all the credentials. He's a master jeweler, certified appraiser, diamondologist, and he's graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. So if you're looking for that special ring, that engagement ring, wedding rings, financial, personally designed wedding sets, or any of their other jewelry like watches and bracelets, necklaces, earrings, estate and vintage jewelry, they'll buy your gold, silver, and diamonds. It's James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They're the second hour sponsor each and every day of Sports 56 Mornings. Time now to talk some Grizzlies as promised. He is Sean Coleman, writer and podcaster for Bluff City, Memphis. You can follow him on Twitter at StatsSAC. He's also terrific with the numbers, and that's why we like to have Sean on the show. Sean, happy holidays to you. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Greg and Eli, I hope y'all are well. I do apologize. A bit of a difference between the last time I talked with y'all and now. I've got a little one here, so if you hear any noise in the background, it's just him waking up. But it's good to be with y'all again.
Well, congratulations on that. Is this your first child?
Yes, sir. Our first one. He's about to be 4 months old. So yeah, he's a joy, as I'm sure y'all know. So yeah, but thank you very much for the kind words.
Absolutely, your life's a changing, my friend. Your life's a changing. But you continue to pound out stats and numbers. You're a great follow for any fan of the Grizzlies. Also, Sean is big into baseball with the Atlanta Braves. But for this purposes, it's all about the Grizzlies. How historic of a night, statistically wise, number wise, was Jaren Jackson Jr.'s performance last night as he went off and scored 44?
Well, it was pretty historic. I first off, shout out to Rob Fisher and the broadcast team. I was very excited to hear the shout out. It was historic at one point. They wound up changing a stat after the game that kind of made the rarity of his performance a little bit less rare. But the point is that you have seen Jaren Jackson Jr. over his past two games score 40-plus points. I mean, if we want to talk about rarity in the history of the Grizzlies franchise, he now has, for anybody not named Ja Morant, he's got 4 40-plus point games in his career. Only Ja has more. Him and Ja are the only ones to have multiple 40 games in the season. Him and Ja are the only ones to have consecutive back-to-back games. And then when you look at his 40-point performance at being back-to-back, and you look at the fact that, what other players have done this at his age, it's all great. Kobe Bryant, among others. But the big key to me overall is the 5-game stretch that he's had right now. And people want to talk about, what is he doing outside of scoring? His defense may not be where it's been, this year where it was last year. But over his past 5 games, in terms of points scored, threes, defensive activity, and just the quality of his shot, only LeBron James and James Harden in NBA history have done what Jaren Jackson Jr. has done over his past 5 games. And to make it even more, valid is the fact that in 4 of those 5 games, it's come against top 15 NBA defenses. So with Jaren now getting more defensive attention than he usually has in the past, and he now also has less help around him, it just further validates how just awesome it is to see his offense, and it's definitely great to see with the fact that he struggled the early part of this season.
That, to me, because going into last night when Bain was out, I'm thinking, oh, gosh. I mean, they basically, all they got to do is say, all right, let's just make sure Jackson doesn't go off. And that's, for him to do that last night without Bain and with very little help, that to me was really impressive. And we've seen this, we saw, sometimes last year, but when he gets in that aggressive mindset of, I'm going to go to the rim, like he's hard to stop at that size with that athletic ability.
Absolutely, and that's the other thing that stands out, Eli, this year is the fact that there has been a significant, you look at it on film, you look at it from numbers, there is a significant improvement in consistency of Jaren creating his own shot. At Cleaning the Glass, they measure, how often a player, how big of a percentage of their made shots did they create on their own. The only two bigs, the only two post players in the NBA right now that are creating, their shots at a 80th percentile or better compared to the rest of the league is Joel Embiid and Jaren Jackson Jr. And the reason why that's important is because what it means is that no matter how much defensive attention you pay them, they're going to still be able to create their own opportunities because they're not having to rely on their other teammates. So that's what really has stood out this year is the fact that Jaren, the confidence, the overall versatility and ability going downhill, post up, he's the best isolation scorer in terms of per possession production in the NBA this year. The confidence in him creating his own opportunities is basically what's making him, still be able to produce besides, the defensive attention he's being paid.
So while we've seen from time to time a player or two step up, you're not expected to step up with the Grizzlies, especially with these makeshift lineups. It's basically been Jaren Jackson Jr. and Des Bain through these first 23 games until Ja comes back for game 26. So we just talked about Tripp and what he has done. Des Bain is having a career season. He is having an all-star type season. It's unfortunate he missed last night's game because of an illness, and hopefully he'll be back tomorrow. But what kind of numbers, Sean, do you have on Des? What can you tell us about his career season?
Yeah, so when it comes down to Des, basically what it is that you're not only seeing the fact that he's scoring, at a pretty high rate. His overall metrics, the quality metrics, are a bit down, but that's just simply because of how much he's being used. But when you compare, I did a stat the other day. I believe it was 25 points, 5 assists. I want to say 3 threes and a steal per game through the first 20 games of a season. And I compared Des to other players who have done that in NBA history. Of the 19 players that had done what he had done through the first 20 games this year, 18 of them had made the All-Star game in their respective season, and 15 of them made All-NBA. The problem is that you got so many people now in this offensive age that are doing much better than in the past. It's going to be harder to do. But the point that I'm getting at is that when you look at the numbers, Desmond Bain is definitely on an all-star trajectory, and you also have to feel as if he'll be able to maintain that. Because we've been able to see him and Ja, they can coexist to where Bain can still average 20-plus points a game, probably 5 assists, maybe give you that steal and block per game. And if he continues that level of production, as long as he stays healthy, then I think you have an all-star season. But it's not just about the scoring. It's the three-point shooting, top 5 in the NBA and three-pointers made, but also the extra facilitation that's there as well. And the defensive activity has improved also.
So next week, the Grizzlies will have to make a decision when Ja comes back as far as the roster is concerned. Somebody has to go. From your perspective, who do you think that person should be that is let go?
It's Kenneth Lofton Jr. And I know that there are many within Grizz Nation who love Kenneth Lofton Jr. They love the skill set. I do as well. I think that Kenneth Lofton Jr., especially with his profile, especially it's not just his overall ability, his footwork, his offensive ability, his mindset. He's got a good offensive skill set, especially for the type of profile that he is. But it's just not there for Kenneth Lofton Jr. here. If he's not been able to carve out any type of stable rotation minutes, despite the fact that we missed all these players and we've had all these injuries so far this year, and he still hasn't been able to carve out an opportunity, it's just not there for him in the present. It's likely not there for him in the future. So naturally, his roster spot, there are more valuable options that could be taking that roster spot. Certainly don't want to see someone that many, in Grizz Nation, love to see play. but he just does not add a lot of value overall on the court, and therefore, now I think his time is drawing to a near as a member of the Grizzlies.
You have been tweeting an awful lot about Vince Williams. I have been talking an awful lot about Vince Williams, and have been since he was drafted. He has not obviously been given that opportunity. Now, because of necessity, he has. What has he done that you like so much?
It's the high level of play. And you've seen this before at times from a John Conchar. You've seen it before from an Xavier Tillman. You've seen it before from others. And I know that I'm mentioning names that right now, Xavier Tillman last night got a DMP, surprisingly. What does that say about his future? John Conchar has been in and out of the rotation. The reason why Vince Williams stand out is because there's a high floor. In the higher picks that the Grizzlies have tried this year, from Zaire Williams to David Roddy to Jake LaRavia, they have definitely tried to get as much out of them as they can. But not only are they not getting any value, they're getting negative value when they're on the court. With Vince Williams, his defense, at the very least, is going to add positive value. I wrote an article for Bluff City Media about how Vince Williams did an incredible job on Luka Doncic the other night. The numbers when he's in the lineups that he's in when he's on the court, their defensive production is significantly better than when he's off the court. But the other thing is he's starting to hit threes. I think 40% are better from three over his past 7 games. So he doesn't do a lot, but what he does when he's on the court is effective and it plays towards winning. And he also is a player that helps our best players play better. Jaren and Desmond are significantly better when Vince is on the court versus when he's off. So he's a high-level player or a high-floor player, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, plays excellent defense, and right now the Grizzlies need any positives they can get. He's providing those positive numbers when he's in the game. My son agrees.
The one thing he needs to do is he needs to cut back on the fouls a little bit.
He does. He definitely does, yes. And I will say this, the fouls definitely need to cut back, but for right now, I would much rather him be aggressive like he is and learn how to contain that in time than be timid like we've seen others, like, for instance, Jake LaRavia be. So, I agree with you, fouls need to cut back, but, hey, the physicality of his defense, sometimes it'll lead to fouling out, but sometimes it leads to excellent defensive play like he showed the other night against Lizzo.
With especially Zaire and LaRavia as well, because they're Roddy, it seems like, is going to be a part of the rotation kind of regardless, but is there any reason right now to believe that Zaire and or LaRavia are going to be able to figure things out and be able to be contributors down the road?
It's hard, and I badly want for both of them to be there because I do believe that theoretically, or in the flashes that we've seen, I think Jake LaRavia has good shooting skills in it. I just don't think that right now the confidence is there for him to really put that on display. And with Zaire, listen, I think he's a good spot-up shooter. He's shooting well from the corners, this year from 3. But Zaire himself, he does not add enough value when it comes to him being as a scorer to make up for the fact that he's just not adding value hardly anywhere else. Earlier this year, we saw the rebounding. That was encouraging. But it's telling that whenever he's on the court, the Grizzlies are consistently playing losing basketball. That is a pretty telling sight. I just talked about how Des and Jaren, when they're on the court with Vince, they play better than when he's off. Well, when Des and Jaren are on the court with Zaire, they're playing worse with him on the court than when he's off. So it's kind of the reverse of Vince Williams Jr., and that's why the necessity has been there for Vince, is that you're just getting so little out of Jake and Zaire to the point that you're actually seeing them have a negative impact, that why Vince is so valuable right now, he's making a positive impact. But now, I'll be honest, they're still going to get opportunity just because of the money committed this year and next year. But it's also, come to the point for the Grizzlies to where, especially if they want to continue trying to win this year, they've got to find more productive players, and that's just not there right now with LaRavia and Zaire. And it's hard to really have faith that it'll happen in time as we move forward.
Sean Coleman joining us from Bluff City, Memphis, writer, podcaster. You can follow him on Twitter at StatsSAC. Great follow, especially for all you Grizzlies fans out there. So last night, we were talking about this in our first hour. 10 of 38 from 3, 26.3% as a team. We know that Des Bane has shot the 3 ball well. We know that Kennard is capable. He started out slow this year and then he got hurt. But the numbers cannot be good. And I'm not sure if you've crunched numbers as far as three-point shooting, where this team stands compared to other Grizzlies teams, but I can't imagine it's good.
Yeah, in terms of frequency, that's been a point of emphasis for Coach Jenkins, is that, with the injuries that occurred, especially with the fact that we were going to be without Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, which was going to hurt our ability to win the possession battle like we had in the past, to win the 2-point battle like we had in the past. He wanted to see what we could do for 3, and the frequency is there. But yes, the accuracy just simply is not. One of the big things that right now is hurting the Grizzlies, in my opinion, is the fact that I feel like they're getting the shots that they want, especially when you look at the fact that they're starting to get more corner threes this year than they usually do, which typically are your more open, higher percentage looks. They're just not making them. One big thing that could really work out for this team is if our bigs can start to make the corner threes. But we've seen Xavier Tillman struggle with it, Jaren, Santi Aldama struggle with it. If we could get the corner threes going again, that could help. Kennard and Smart can help in that situation. But yes, in terms of the overall ability to shoot the 3, if we could just ever get to being league average in that specific category, I really think you would start to see our offense take off in terms of what it's doing right now. But in terms of us, potentially being a top 3 or a top 10 team in the league when it comes to 3-point production, that's hard to see. But I will say that with the playmaking of Ja, the additional playmaking of Marcus Smart, and seeing Kennard come in and everybody else kind of fit into their roles, I think you'll see the 3-point shooting improve. And I believe I mentioned this before. Under Taylor Jenkins, I believe we have a nearly 88% winning percentage, best in the NBA, when the Grizzlies shoot 35% or better from 3. If we could just simply get back to shooting 35% or better of 3, that could be a big boost to help us win consistently.
He is new daddy Sean Coleman, writer, podcaster for Bluff City, Memphis. You can follow him on Twitter at StatsSAC. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. Congratulations again, Sean, and thank you as always for being with us.
No problem at all. And Eli, Merry Christmas to you. Greg, I would wish you the same, but your Phillies beat my Braves for the second straight year. So happy holidays to you, Greg. Thank you very much, guys.
I understand. Thank you, Sean. I guess there'll be coal in my stocking if Sean's going to be delivering.
By the way, so I talked earlier about the Grizzlies' percentage on the wide open threes, which is 34.9%, which is last in the league on wide open threes. So if you only counted their wide open threes, which again in the NBA that is no defender within 6 feet of the shooter, if you took away every other 3, every contested 3, any other 3, just counted their wide open threes versus every other team's every 3 they attempt, the Grizzlies would still be 24th in the league in shooting threes.
Wow. You're saying the other teams, all their threes.
Count every 3 they shoot. Contested, heaves at the buzzer, anything. Count all of their threes. For the Grizzlies, only take the wide open ones. Nobody within 6 feet of them. That they would be 24th in the league in 3-point percentage.
I don't mean to be cruel, but there's a bunch of bricklayers on that.
Like that's how bad it is. Like again, they're getting the shots. They're getting the shots they want. They get the number of wide open threes they get per game is fine. Like they're right there. They get some of the most. I think they're like 6th or I'd say maybe 5th or 6th in the league in the number of wide open threes they get per game. They just don't make them. Like they're the worst in the league at making wide open threes. So that's again because people are like, well, when Ja comes back, he creates some open shots for. They're getting the open shots. They just don't make them. Now,
right, but you're going to get Kennard.
Kennard can come back and make them because obviously he's probably the best. He's the best shooter in that situation.
One of the best in the league.
But I mean, these other guys, it's just insane how bad they are at shooting not just threes, wide open threes is crazy. Sunrise. For a great breakfast, that is the place to go. Great lunch as well. Of course, they're known for their breakfast. The original location at 670 Jefferson Avenue, Sunrise East on Poplar Avenue in East Memphis. You can go in and enjoy any of those great breakfast dishes from the kitchen sink to any of those great biscuit sandwiches. They're biscuits, which they make right there in-house, those big square biscuits. I love the P-Love, which is the fried bologna, egg, and cheese, but they've got your sausage, egg, and cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese. They've got all of those different options for you. They've got their breakfast bowls. They've got the 3 Amigos tacos, all kinds of great items on that breakfast menu, and then the lunch menu as well with some great sandwiches and salads and much, much more. Sunrise, located again, 670 Jefferson Avenue, the original in East Memphis, Sunrise East, online, sunrise901.com. You can order online for pickup to make it very easy for you to pop on in, grab your food, and be on your way from Sunrise.
What type of player is Penny Hardaway getting in Naquan Tomlin, and when will he be ready to go? Hopefully, with some of the answers, will be our next guest after the timeout. We'll be talking with Parthu Pajai, who covers the Memphis Tigers basketball squad for the Daily Memphian. He's next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
It's our season of giving back at Gossett Kia on the Pike, and we've got the perfect holiday gift for you. Hit the road with 41 MPG Highway 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $239 a month, $27.99 due at signing. Get road-ready SUV Seat 7 2023 Kia Sorento LX, $319 a month, $34.99 due at signing. And 8-passenger seating in your new 2024 Kia Telluride LX, $459 a month, $34.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease. Plus, you'll get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He's ready to put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition fee, Forte RE 699,094, MSRP 21,385, Sorrento PG 242,710, MSRP 33,010, Telluride RG 462, 2822, MSRP 38,705, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024, dealer stock only.
Do you have equipment taking up space in your shed or on your lot? What do you do if those pieces are really big? Ever wondered their value? Purple Wave Auction is an online auction company that sells used equipment. Thousands of items are up for bid right now at purplewave.com. Our transparent auction process makes it easy to sell that Kenworth semi you have sitting behind the barn. Or how about an upgrade to your New Holland Workmaster? Take a moment and check out purplewave.com. Purple Wave Auction, straight, simple, sold.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring Titleist SM9 wedges tuned for precise contact, lower flight, and higher spin. Now $30 off. From Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards in any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Don't miss the Edwin Watts Golf Shops holiday special. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic brought to you by Curfew.
Enjoy the ultimate dining experience at Curfew. Thursday is Hotel Guest Appreciation Day. Canopy by Hilton guests get 10% off all food. Curfew American Tavern Craft Cocktails, your new destination. 164 Union Avenue, main floor of the Canopy Hotel.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. I'm still seeing a lot of heavy volume right now on 40 westbound as you come past Germantown Parkway all the way up to Witten Road as it continues to build on 55 coming up through South Haven right now. It's been a little bit tricky over here today in the Midtown area as they finish up the paperwork on that wreck on 240 southbound at South Parkway. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in the Memphis area. You need Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out online, tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:29 the time. Just about halfway home on this Thursday edition of Sports 56 Mornings. As I mentioned to start the show, a couple of huge press conferences are coming up for the media, not for the public. Tomorrow, John Morant's going to meet the media as he gets closer and closer to actually getting back on the court for the Grizzlies. That will happen on Tuesday in New Orleans, knock on wood. And then tomorrow, or make that today, Penny Hardaway is going to meet the media as well. That includes the two of us, but also our guest, Parth Upadhyay, who joins us now. He covers Memphis Tigers basketball for the Daily Memphian, and he's been a great guest for us, and we appreciate you joining us, Parth. The question is, and I know yesterday that Penny started to make the rounds basically to promote the game on Saturday. It seemed
like it, yeah.
It shouldn't need any promotion. That place should be packed, and hopefully it will be.
They've been trying hard to promote it, selling these mini packs and all kinds of stuff, man.
And that's what you need to do. They need to, it's going to be a whiteout, so hopefully a huge crowd, maybe even a sellout against a nationally ranked team in Clemson.
Should be a sellout, yep.
Tuesday, Virginia. You know, it's during the week, a little bit tougher with school and with work and all that, but it should be a big crowd as well on Tuesday. But my point is that Penny made the rounds, and of course, he's asked about the latest news, which we'll talk to you about with Naquan Tomlin, and he sidestepped it. So he didn't say anything about that. He didn't really say anything about Jordan Brown. So let me ask you, first of all, what have you heard about when this guy will be able to practice with the team? When will he be enrolled in school and then subsequently be able to actually play for the Tigers?
Yes, I think it all starts with the enrollment in school. You know, obviously he's initiated that process of becoming a University of Memphis student officially, becoming enrolled, becoming accepted right into the university. But nothing can happen until that, right? Until he's in the student directory formally, until he's, you know, an actual member of the student body, you know, of the University of Memphis. He can't practice, he can't play with the team, which is why it always seemed like playing Saturday, although fans seemed to speculate or hope or wish, whatever, it seemed far-fetched, right? Like, this all was announced. He committed late Monday night. It was announced Tuesday. So at the earliest, let's say they initiated the process, you know, Tuesday start of business, right? It was at 8 a.m. You know, there's no guarantee that he'll even be enrolled by the end of the week, by end of business on Friday. He could be, but even if he is, would Penny throw a guy out there that's been a part of his program for, 4 days at that point?
I don't believe so.
I wouldn't, right? Like, they've got a good thing going there, and Penny kind of alluded to that on the radio with Jason and John. He said that, you know, for right now he's focusing on his guys and getting them ready to play because, you know, they've looked good, quite frankly.
Do they have to wait for him to be enrolled to even announce? Like, can he sign because they haven't even announced it officially yet? Do they have to wait for his enrollment to announce it?
That part I am unsure about, if I'm being honest with you. I know that obviously goes without saying that Penny or anybody with the program can't publicly speak on it until he's signed on that dotted line, which is why, you know, Jason Smith yesterday on his radio show kind of asked the question in a weird way, used the word reinforcements rather than, you know, saying Naquan Tomlin by name.
We had Andy Borman on, as we do every Wednesday, assistant coach, and we also had to go in kind of incognito with the wording of things.
Yep, I heard Andy on your show the other day. Yep, absolutely. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that as far as, you know, if they can put out a press release, if they can, you know, formally announce it without him being a student.
Because I would think you would be able to, because you do it with signees all the time. They're not students yet when you sign. So that's why I don't. It's weird to me that they haven't announced it. I don't understand why it hasn't been announced.
I mean, I'm sure there's a process there, even without him being a student, like the fact that, you know, he has to sign and has to go through some kind of administration office thing. So there's probably something there that has to be, you know, signed, sealed, delivered before they can come out and say, hey, this guy's part of our team.
Well, Jeff Crane, who's on our show weekly, again, I keep dropping names here, Deputy Athletic Director for the University of Memphis, he talked about a number of things that he has to do. And again, we didn't word it in specifics. We didn't say Naquan Tomlin, but we talked in generalizations about what happens in a situation like this. And he said they still got to, you know, get things done with the NCAA and so there's a lot of things that they have to do. It seems like it'd be simple, just hey, enroll. You can do it online. Should take 2 seconds to enroll, but you got to make sure everything is complete. Obviously, you graduated over the weekend. Everything is fine in your standing with the NCAA and all that. So I don't know all the things that happen, but I know it's not as simple as just here, sign, boom, you're on.
There's so many little administrative things. Like, even if we're looking at it from a broad perspective, right? Like, he has to become a student. He has to
compliance.
Yeah, has to go through, you know, the athletics compliance office, you know, for him to, you know, formally be a part of the program. But even at a micro level, I'm sure there's so many, you know, T's to cross and I's to dot that we don't even know about.
Okay, so You had a chance to run down his junior college coach at Chipola College, a name that's very familiar to people around here, Donnie Tyndall.
Yep.
And you talked to Donnie about the player, Naquan Tomlin. So out of that conversation, what type of player do you believe Penny Hardaway is getting?
Yeah, he's getting a player that's, even though he's in year 4 of college, is continuing to evolve, continuing to become better. Might not be a finished product yet, right? Still. When they found him at Chipola, it's crazy. Donnie told me that one of his coaching buddies who coached high school basketball in New York City just happened to be in the same gym when guys were just playing pickup ball in the summer. Saw this guy that looked raw but could jump out the gym, could run with the best of them, could handle the ball like a guard at 6'7", at that point, 6'8", and made the call to Donnie and said, hey, I know you're in your first year at Chipola. You're trying to build something. This guy might be somebody you want to build with. So then Donnie brings him in. I want to say it was about a month, 2 months into the season. He's like, man, can this kid even do anything for us, right? Like, is he just a project that's going to take longer than he expected? Is it somebody that can contribute? And sure enough, Naquan Tomlin was able to turn a corner end of the season and become who he was for that team to help them get to the I think it's the JUCO Final Four there, right? Like the JUCO Division I Final Four. And that second year, he was obviously a honorable mention All-American, and the rest is kind of history, right? He goes to Kansas State, is the third option behind Marquise Noel, behind Keontae Johnson on a team that went to the Elite Eight and made a lot of noise last year. So I think, Memphis is getting a guy that is continuing to polish his game, is a guy who's versatile, kind of fits Penny's system, right? Runs the floor, is switchable, can guard probably, honestly, 1 through 5. On offense can play, on the wing because he can attack mismatches because, he's 6'10", and there's guys that are not going to be, quick enough laterally to keep up with him there. And there's, he has the ability also to play in the post because he's, 6'10" and physical. So, yeah, can do a multiple variety of things there.
Is this his last year of eligibility?
It is.
Okay,
yes.
We're past I thought he was past the COVID stuff, but anymore I get confused on that.
This will be year 5. I'm sorry, I said year 4. So he played at a JUCO in the New York area, Monroe College, a smaller junior college, then played at Chipola for 2 years.
Okay.
Then K-State, and now at Memphis. This is year 5 for him in college.
So they're renting a center, basically, which is all above board.
Absolutely.
In this day and age. It's all above board.
So with this, and whether this, I guess I assume it matters, but from what you understand, what you've been able to figure out, I know Penny keeps saying that Jordan Brown's still sick. But what is that situation, and do you believe, and this I guess just opinion, that we see him in a Memphis uniform again?
I would bet against it, but crazier things have happened, right? Like there was a time last offseason where a lot of us betted, would have went out and said, Malcolm isn't coming back, right? Or whatever. We didn't think DeAndre had a chance of coming back initially in the early parts of the offseason in March and April. So crazier things have happened with Memphis basketball. So I wouldn't be surprised, if he were to return, but I wouldn't. I would bet against it is what I'm trying to say, based on the stuff that I've been hearing behind the scenes and kind of where that thing stands now.
But what are his options? And I agree with you because I can't even imagine the pecking order with Tomlin, if Brown's still on the team, with Malco. I don't see how that works. But what are his options? He can't transfer again.
He cannot transfer now.
Can he just leave and try to go to the G League? I mean, they're already in season. I don't know how it all works, but I imagine he's getting some pretty decent NIL money. That would go down the sewer.
Exactly, and that's the thing, right? It's if he were to, let's say, go overseas, which I'm sure somebody'd be interested. He's a 7-footer with great footwork and still an elite basketball player, no matter what he showed here. Mm-hmm. Would an overseas contract be north of 6 figures? I'm not sure. I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think that it would match his, hefty NIL package. Don't know the exact numbers on what he got here at Memphis for NIL, but I know he's one of the top 2-3 earners, on this basketball team. So that's part of it too. Like, does he come back and just kind of stick it out and say, hey, let me just get this check, right? And then, in 3-4 months here, once the season ends, then he can go overseas or do what he has to do from there. But yeah, it's interesting because his role is going to be different. If he does come back, to your point, Greg, I think that starting spot is gone.
There's no question they're bringing this kid into play.
But the thing is, Tomlin can play the 3, 4, and 5, right? So you can do different things there.
Play them together?
Possibly, but I don't think
play Malco with them.
I wouldn't play them together because Tomlin's not the best shooter.
Yeah.
He's a guy who can handle the ball and do different things on the wing, but he's not somebody who's going to space the floor, right?
No, but he could step out and hit a 3 every once in a while. He has that ability.
He could. But either way, whether they play together, he comes off the bench, Jordan Brown's going to have a decreased role no matter what. And that role was already minimal, right? He was playing 14 minutes a game, I believe.
Well, so why did we get to this point? Because even after,
I was just going to ask that.
Even after the, I guess it was after the Ole Miss game when he had the foul issues and he only played like 6 minutes in that game. Penny, after that game, talked about we have to get him going. He's got to be a double-double guy. So it wasn't like, hey, we're giving up on this guy. Like we're there at that point. It seems like he's trying to figure out how we got to get this guy going.
Right.
So why are we to this point that now suddenly Brown is gone?
Yeah, it seemed to happen rather quickly, obviously, right? Like, there was the Ole Miss game, I think, December 2nd, where he played all of 7 minutes. Yeah. And even that was kind of interesting, right? Because he had those 2 quick fouls, but didn't have any more. In the second half, they just chose not to play him because he was getting, kind of cooked in the pick and roll and, wasn't really producing offensively. It's hard to say because, Penny's been known to say one thing, to protect his players or protect his program, whatever it may be. But then other things are happening behind the scenes. So
there's rumors out there.
Right. There are. Yes. There are. And the fact that he's sticking with this Jordan Brown, sick theory is just hilarious to me.
But we know that Penny is going to always keep it where he protects and is loyal to his players. Even if it's a player that he knows that is probably not going to be a player that much longer, he still will protect that player.
And you've got to respect that, absolutely.
He's so look how loyal he is to Mikey Williams. He is he's loyal to a fault, I always say. But Penny's always there because Penny's very. I'll be interested to see what he says today at the presser now with a bunch of different media there as opposed to doing one radio hit or a TV hit. And,
right.
And if anything has changed really over the last 24 hours as well. But, people are very, very curious to see. The conference, as we know, has Florida Atlantic and not much else. Doesn't mean that you won't get competitive games and it's conference play. Anything is possible. But these games coming up, this is when you can really use that inside play. P.J. Hall and what he brings to the table for Clemson, these guys can go inside, they can go outside. And if you don't have this kid available, and if Brown really is not part of the team or is legitimately sick, which I don't think anybody believes, then you got Malco. And that's it. And we know that Malco got into foul trouble last game.
Right.
He fouled out in, how much, 13 minutes, 14 minutes of playing time?
11 minutes.
11 minutes, there you go.
Played exceptionally well. Had 7 rebounds in those 11 minutes, which I think is, great, fantastic.
But the timing
absolutely
would have been better if this was 2 weeks ago. It just wasn't to be. Now, Penny's thinking long range. He's thinking tournament. And I can have this guy, and he will be beneficial to the team when we play some of those teams that have big-time big men. We know every year we see them in the tournament. When you go up against a Zach Edey, who is a mountain of a man, you need something pretty solid in the middle.
Hunter Dickinson, like Armando Bacot. List goes on and on of guys you could be matched up with, especially in the second round if you're Memphis and at that 6-7 seed, right?
And that's what Tomlin is. Whereas Jordan Brown wants to stay away from physicality, it seems like.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that was kind of his game. Like more, I wouldn't even
finesse.
I wouldn't even call it finesse because if you're a finesse big, you're stepping out to the 3-point line, right? And you're taking guys on the wing and you're shooting those mid-range jumpers. He wasn't doing any of that. So I don't know if it was more so the scheme, which didn't fit, which I think is definitely a factor there, right? Memphis likes to get up and down. He plays better in the half court. Or if it was Jordan Brown not being in shape, it's hard to say it. In all likelihood, probably kind of a combination of those factors.
From people you've talked to or whatever, from what you've gathered, was there any concern from the Memphis side with Tomlin with the issues he had at Kansas State and getting the fact that he was dismissed from that team?
Yeah, I think that's the part that's unclear. Obviously, it was the president who chose to, kind of overstep and dismiss him. There's been speculation that people in that athletic program, the head coach included, right, wanted to keep Naquan Tomlin on board. But the president made that decision despite there being diversion in his case. Yeah, so all we know right now is that he was involved in this bar fight late October. There were no charges ultimately pressed. But the president, in his statement, if you read his open letter, his explanation, he said that,
other incidents.
Exactly. He said something along the lines of the reporting that this is just about the fight that, Naquan was involved in October is incorrect, meaning that there's more behind his decision than just that. He even said something along the lines of, when we make these decisions, we look at the history of an athlete's experiences and interactions and behaviors. But he didn't go beyond that, obviously, and nothing's been made public beyond that. So you would hope Memphis did their due diligence here.
Look, Penny wants to get the best players to have a chance to win a national championship. He wants to bring a national championship to the University of Memphis. So he's going to get those players. But I also think he cares very much about the players, and he's willing to give players second and third chances. Look, guys that he's brought onto the team over the years, they're not all saints, let's be honest here. But we have not, unless my memory is not serving me correctly, there haven't really been a lot of incidents with guys that have had maybe incidents before when they've come to Memphis. They seem to be doing what is asked of them. I mean, there's been things here or there.
Right.
Maybe they're not happy with their playing time, or maybe families of those players get involved with things of that nature. But I don't think, as far as getting in trouble with the law and things of that nature, have happened that much, if at all, under Penny's guidance. So I think he knows what he wants. He wants to get players in there to win a national championship, but he's also willing to give those players an opportunity, a second chance. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, unless something crazy comes out that, Tomlin did this or that, or, I don't want to speculate, but if something happened to the point where it was, kind of irredeemable, which I don't know. We don't know, right? We don't know what happened right now.
He's riding with Mikey Williams. He shot into a car with a bunch of people there.
Yeah, no, that's insane. So yeah, you never know, but I think, to your point, Penny looks at the situation, looks at this roster and says, hey, like, this is a window right here, right now. Like, the team he has, even without Naquan Tomlin, is Sweet 16 level, right? Is a team that can get into that second weekend. Now you're adding a guy who, like we said already, was the third option on an Elite Eight team, kind of plays that similar role here, being the third option behind David Jones and Javon Quinterly, rather. So I think he sees that and says, hey, this is a good fit, and this is somebody that can get us over the top here and give us a real chance to make some noise in March.
All right, we're running out of time, but Clemson Saturday, Virginia Tuesday. What are your expectations?
I think they go 1 of 2. I think if they do go 1 of 2, they'd be in good shape to accomplish their goal, which has been, publicly stated all season, all off season, to get out of that 8-9 slot and to get in a position where you're not having to go up against, a Kansas or a Purdue, the number 1 overall seed, whatever, in that second game rather. I think that's very much in play. Now, if they win 2 and they, finish the non-conference 11 and 11-2 at that point.
Yeah.
I think then the sky's the limit. Then, right? You can dream of a top 5 seed in that case. But the issue really is, like, this is it. These 2 games are really all you have until late February when Florida Atlantic comes to FedEx Forum in terms of resume builders and stuff that's going to stand out to the committee. But man, if they can get both, like we said, anything's possible in that case.
Make sure to read all of Parth's great stories about the Tigers, but in particular, if you want to find out more about Naquan Tomlin, what Donnie Tyndall had to say, check it out at the Daily Memphian. Follow Parth on Twitter at, I'll spell it out for you, PUPADHYAYA_. Parth, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
It was fun as always. Appreciate y'all.
We appreciate it as well. Folks, if you're ready for a new Silverado All-Star Chevy right here in Olive Branch, has financing down to 1.9 or up to $10,000 cash, plus make no payment for 90 days, and your good credit deserves it. Check out all the red tag deals when you head on down to All-Star Chevrolet, including Tahoes, Equinox, Trailblazers. Families love the Traverse with the third row seats, so you can do more together. Christmas, holiday trips. What are you doing New Year's Eve? What are you driving? Check out all those great deals at All-Star Chevrolet. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare workers, you get an extra $500 bonus. If you want a certified pre-owned Chevy or any pre-owned, All-Star is loaded up with them. And if it's not there, just ask Jeff. He'll find it for you. Kevin and Jeff and everyone here at All-Star Chevy have asked me to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year on their behalf. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, not Bartlett, not Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, Mississippi. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis' oldest restaurant, Coletta's, was established in 1923 to give Memphians the best Italian food possible. And I'd say they got it right. They are the creators of the barbecue pizza. It was Elvis's favorite, and I know for a fact that a large will feed one person all weekend. If you need to feed several, though, Coletta's caters any event. Choose from homemade lasagna, ravioli, Alfredo, primavera, and so many other delicious items you can't help but enjoy. Impress employees or clients and treat them to Coletta's for lunch or dinner. Plan ahead and get your holiday party booked at Coletta's. Elvis's favorite place to go eat with his buddies at the South Parkway location, and Coletta's even has an Elvis room dedicated to him. Call Coletta's on South Parkway at 948-7652 or Appling Road at 383-1122. Coletta's. It was Elvis's favorite, and it should be yours too.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
All 650 acquisition fees. Sportage R723 5498 MSRP 28940. Sorrento PG 424 MSRP 33010. Telluride RG 462822 MSRP 38705. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 1/2/2024 with approved credit. Dealers.com.
Hey, my man Jeff Allen, what's going on for the holidays over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
It's the season of giving back at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah, and I've got your holiday presents right here.
Tell us about it, Jeff.
Award-winning SUV 2024 Kia Sportage LX, $299 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia Sorento LX, perfect for your road trips, $329 a month. And the 2024 Kia Telluride LX, we got it at $459 a month, all 36-month lease.
Well, you can't get much better than that, Jeff. And all Kias come with the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah. And from all of us at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah, happy holidays.
Experience the taste of Italy at Little Italy's newest location in East Memphis at Massey and Poplar. Little Italy has great Italian food with all your favorite dishes, from lasagna, rigatoni vodka, Alfredo, even lobster ravioli. Try Little Italy's very generous hot calzone, stuffed with your choice of meats and melted cheeses. East Memphis Little Italy wants to spoil you with a piece of Italy you can feel, taste, see, enjoy, and eat. East Memphis Little Italy, hidden in the back at the corner of Massey and Poplar.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Over the last couple of weeks, I've been telling you a lot about City Brew Tours, which has come here to Memphis, which is an opportunity to go take a little tour of some local breweries. You meet down at the Peabody downtown, and then you'll go tour 3 breweries. You get to sample beers, and the folks at City Brew Tours, they want to spread a little holiday cheer, or you could even say they want to spread a little holiday beer, because that's what they're doing. That's what it's all about. You get to sample the beers. They give you some food. You drink, they drive, which is a great way to work things out as far as that is concerned. citybrewtours.com/Memphis is where you could go to buy tickets, sign up, all of those things, get all the details on those. But I've got a couple of free tickets, free passes for the City Brew Tours. You could take it whenever you want and set that all up, and you and somebody else could go on one of these tours and check it out for yourselves. I will give 2 passes to caller number 4 at 360-8255, 360-8255. Caller number 4, 2 passes for City Brew Tours Memphis. All you got to do is call in. You got an opportunity to go sample some beer this holiday season or whenever you want to go on one of these City Brew Tours. Caller number 4, 360-8255.
Sounds like a lot of fun, absolutely. So LeBron James is under fire for what he did when he entered USC's arena during the national anthem. And he's made a lot of people upset, including UFC star Colby Covington. So James, for those of you who don't know, video surfaced of him entering USC's arena during the playing of the national anthem, and he immediately takes a seat while the anthem's going on. So Covington made some remarks on Wednesday night, last night, as he prepares to take on Leon Edwards in a welterweight bout at UFC 296 this weekend. Covington said, if you hate America so much and you don't like this country that gave you $1 billion, leave it or come deal with me. Go to China. Go to these sweatshops that you employ, all these laborers, and use these women and pay them pennies on the dollar to make your millions. F you, LeBron James. You're a coward. You're a spineless coward, and you're a B word. Wow. That is one upset dude.
Uh-huh.
But other people responded by saying, we're still doing this? We're still protesting the anthem? We're still not standing for the anthem? We're still doing what happened with Kaepernick?
I don't think he was doing it to protest the anthem, no.
Yeah, I don't know. Has he responded to that? He doesn't have to, but I'm just curious if he has. I didn't see it. I haven't seen the video, just reading this story. But there are a lot of upset people. I saw that yesterday on Twitter.
We have our winner, by the way, for the City Brew Tour passes. We will be giving away more of those throughout the next couple weeks, so stay tuned for that.
Again, tonight it is Thursday Night Football, Chargers and the Raiders, 6:30 pregame. We'll have it for you right here on Sports 56, 98.5 FM. Saturday, there's 3 games. We'll have one of those games for you. Vikings at the Bengals at 11:30 a.m., but we're starting to get to that point where we see a bunch of those Saturday games, the NFL winding down, final 4 weeks of the regular season with a lot still at stake for many teams in the hunt for the postseason. 2 hours in the books. When we come back, it's all about the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. It's the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. We will be joined by Harold Grader, talk college football when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Santa needs a new set of wheels, and he's going to Sunrise Chevy Buick GMC. Sunrise has hundreds of new and used cars and trucks. This time of the year, Santa's a little strapped for cash, but Sunrise has financing with no money down on approved credit. The home of guaranteed credit approval, that's good, because feeding all these elves, Santa's credit's not so hot. A $6 million used car inventory. Find new roads. SunriseMemphis.com. 385 in Houston Levy and Collierville.
Tease the season at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf for holiday specials this year. Featuring the TaylorMade Stilt 2 Carbon Woods that combine speed and forgiveness to unlock forgiveness. Now up to $100 off. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. There's always gift cards at any amount for the special golfer you're shopping for. Edwin Watts Golf Shops is home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at worldwidegolf.com.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. There's still a couple of wrecks still getting some attention out here right now. We're still seeing that heavy traffic volume coming down on the interstate here on 40 westbound from 269 coming in from Fayette County all the way up to Whitten Road. Still some volume right now. 51 coming in from Millington. Still looks pretty good. I-40 east across the bridge over from West Memphis. Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64. Shop local. Save a lot of money this year at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. It's time now for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
Welcome back, everybody. Bowl season upon us. Excitement in the air. Speaking of the air, 41 degrees and sunny. Today we're looking at a high of 67 degrees. Increasing clouds tonight with a low of 42. We welcome you back to Sports 56 Mornings, Hour 3 during the football season. On Thursdays becomes the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, their Christmas sale continues at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd, now joined by Mr. Harold Grader from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. How are you?
Doing great. Good to see you guys. Good to be with you. Eli, good seeing you on Saturday for our annual high school football all-star game.
How did it go?
Once we got playing, it was awesome. Obviously there was some weather passing through. We had a couple of lightning delays. But once we got going, it was a pretty fun and entertaining, exciting game.
It was the defenses. The defense turned into the offense for a lot of the game.
Yeah.
Lots of returns.
I want to thank the folks over at MUS, Bobby Austin, for hosting us again for our 21st year. And again, the news came out yesterday. Yep. Bobby's retiring. So congratulations on an incredible career. And Bobby, again, we appreciate all you've done for us at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, in particular the young men that have played in that All-Star game over 21 years. What else about that game? The coaches, want to thank them. Slade Calhoun, Cedric Miller. The red team won 30-14. Kudos to the game MVP, Kamaro Brown from Mace, and a new award we had this year that we will continue. The TVA lineman of the game, Travis Shaw from Houston, I believe. That's right. Who has had quite a year.
That's not a bad.
A good way to cap off a state championship winning season.
His last couple high school football games went pretty well.
Pretty good for Travis Shaw. So, good day, good week for us, for them. And I do want to say one thing. A shout out to a young man who was injured in practice, wasn't able to play, had been selected to the All-Star game, and that's Will French from CBHS. Lineman, going to play college ball somewhere, maybe Middle Tennessee, maybe some other opportunities there. But Will unable to play, but again, we congratulate him on the career he had at CBHS.
And congratulations to you guys. Again, this is an event. I've been involved with it. I've done some games in the past. Obviously, Eli does it an awful lot, and I think it's just great what you guys do. Just another thing, added to your responsibilities. Not really your responsibilities, but you've made it your responsibility of entertaining the folks out there and giving these young men an opportunity to play that one final game. Many will go on to play ball in college, but some will not. So it's the final game, kind of a wrap-up of a career. So great job once again by you guys.
Yep, and a tip of the hat, and a thank you again to our friends at WMC-TV for being our TV partner this year. But again, can't thank you guys enough. I mean, you guys have been with us from the very beginning, and that's just part of the tradition of the All-Star Game is to have the broadcast on Sports 56. So thank you.
By the way, one other point about high school football, and maybe you guys have the answer to this. With Bobby Alston now stepping down, I assume that Bobby had been the longest tenured at one school head football coach, like the current.
I would think so. Oh yeah.
So who takes over? So who takes over that position?
That will be an interesting decision. We will await to see what the administration at MUS does.
I would say.
No, I mean, yeah.
How long has Salisbury been at?
You're talking about the position of the most tenured. I thought you were talking about who's going to get the job at MUS.
Either way, but Eli, I think you might be on something. Rodney Salisbury, maybe.
I think Salisbury's been here. I feel like he's been there since I've been here, but I don't know. Maybe he wasn't the first couple of years, but he's been there for a long time.
Probably so, because wasn't it Stan Collins and then Rodney?
Yeah, they're kind of like.
I don't think there was anyone in between there. We're talking about Whitehaven.
Again, I as far as I can remember back since I've been in Memphis, I feel like Salisbury's been there. I don't know that there's any other coach that I could say that about.
Yeah, that's a good point about Coach Collins. He was the coach, I think, when I got here in '90, at the end of '95. Yeah. And I'm not sure how many coaches they had before that, but they're kind of like the Steelers. Like they have Steelers have had 3 head coaches basically for the last 50 years, or whatever.
And Greg, that's part of the secret sauce out there at Whitehaven. They've always had great support from the administration, and then great head coaches, but not a whole lot of turnover, consistency in the program, stability. And that's why they've had great success, as they say, out in the Haven. So kudos to them.
I'm trying to think of anybody else that.
Kevin's had a long run, but Kevin LeCastro went from Christian Brothers to Lausanne. Right. So his run at Lausanne has not been that long.
Bobby's was at MUS or has been in MUS for, I think.
Well, he was head coach for 26 years.
Yeah. And he's been there like almost 50. But his head coach was 25?
26
years. Yeah.
Because he
replaced a legend.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Jake Rudolph.
Because I know when I was doing, when LeCastro was he and LeCastro both, LeCastro started at Christian Brothers, I think the year before or even the same year as Bobby did at MUS. But then obviously, yes, LeCastro moved on. But yeah, I don't know. I can't, other than Salisbury, I have no clue of any other coaches.
Yeah, I have to give that one some thought.
At a place a really long time. I would have to believe that would be him.
In the meantime, we were getting closer and closer to the game, and I had asked you, and for those who don't know, I asked Harold, I said, HD, why don't you see if Coach Campbell could join us today? And you reached out. They're practicing.
They are at this very hour.
So they're practicing. Memphis not yet practicing. They've been recruiting.
Start?
I'm not sure. It's got to be soon.
It's soon.
I asked about maybe getting Coach Silverfield on. He's out recruiting. I know he was recently in Texas. So Iowa State already, I don't know if you want to call it getting the jump, but they're already practicing, and pretty soon Memphis will be doing it as well.
I do know as far as the Tigers schedule, because we're doing some things with them to promote the game. Saturday is an off day for the team. I do know that. but we're trying to do some things with the university, with the athletic department around their next 3 home basketball games, which are all biggies for Penny and the basketball Tigers. So it's Clemson this week on Saturday, UVA on Tuesday, and the last Vandy a week from Saturday, right?
22nd.
So 3 big Tiger home basketball games, and we're going to have a presence there. The world-famous Liberty Bell, AutoZone Liberty Bowl Champions Trophy will be making an appearance at all of those games, maybe a few other things, but the athletic department, I know, is going to be selling tickets on site at those basketball games, and I know they've been rolling out some special promotions around ticket sales through the Memphis Athletic Department. So a lot going on, and again, Tiger fans, we want to see a lot of blue there. You know, we have the Tigers and all of you sitting on the east side of the stadium, which is the television side, and we know that Iowa State is going to come with a pretty good number of fans, and here's another opportunity for the University of Memphis to make a statement to the Big 12 and any other conference that's paying attention for future realignment considerations. It's all there for you. You're playing a Big 12 team, national audience on ESPN. You know, we're the only game on at that time, if I'm not mistaken. We're the lead-in to the Cotton Bowl there on Friday the 29th. So Tiger fans, step up and support your Tigers. Wear your blue.
Let me correct something. The Vanderbilt game is the 23rd. You're right about the Saturday, but the date's the 23rd,
Okay.
so 2 days before Christmas. So, yeah, I read Sam Hardiman's story from the Daily Memphian about the Big 12 saying, they're taking notice about the renovations and all that, although nothing's yet official until this Tuesday, hopefully gets passed by the city council. And it's interesting, in their last meetings when they tabled the vote,
right?
Steve Earhart from the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. I think you know that guy. If not, I can
I've heard of
introduce you to him. He spoke.
Yeah, would you do that?
I will try to do
I
that.
appreciate that.
Fred Jones spoke as well
Yeah.
from the Southern Heritage Classic. And Eli, in a story, they also indicated that, again, if it goes through, which everybody expects it to happen, then the University of Memphis takes over and runs the show at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, then you guys, in essence, would become tenants.
Yes.
And I think they've already reached out to the USFL, or will be
Well,
UFL
Larry Veach
team.
said that, he had said, I guess, you guys at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, the Showboats, and the Southern Heritage Classic, the 3 tenants,
right,
with contract extensions or whatever, because that was part of the thing in that first meeting.
Renewals,
They wanted
yeah.
to make sure that all of this was taken care of, all that stuff. So he said he has done that and whatever else. But, so, hopefully, I mean, from your perspective, I mean, obviously you guys are a little busy right now.
A little.
You got something going on a little different than the other ones who are tenants who maybe have a little more time to deal with this right now. But I mean, it would seem like it doesn't really matter, I guess, who runs the stadium from you guys' perspective.
I think as long
because the university even said they're going to still use the same management company to actually run the stadium.
Right. I think as long as the terms are the same or very similar to what we have, they have certainly indicated in all conversations and all public statements that they want to be good partners with the users and tenants of the stadium, and we appreciate that. If I'm not mistaken, Dr. Hargrave has made similar comments. So we'll work our way through that. This is a critical time for the community, for the university, for all of us that use what is now known as Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Because yes, I know there was one article talking about the Big 12 taking notice of the stadium, and I can tell you, going back to the summer, being at the Big 12 media days, folks, it's been out there for a while that this project has been matriculating through our community. And so, the Big 12 knows. They know. They're aware of it from our conversations with them. But obviously, the university has their own reasons to have those conversations because they're trying to get over there if it were to work out that way. It's important for, again, this stadium project is important for the university. It's important for us. It's important for Fred and his game with the Southern Heritage Classic. It's the future of football in Memphis. This is our stadium. I don't expect to see a new stadium in my lifetime. So this is it. We have collectively that chunk of cash from the state. that's got to be spent for the purpose of Simmons Bank Stadium, FedEx Forum, and obviously all this ties into that, and that's important for our community with the Grizzlies and the Forum. But as far as the football piece of it, it's highly critical, and we'll see how all this works its way through council, and then the potential and expected transfer to the university. It's going to be the dynamics out there are going to be even more interesting than they are now, because if it all comes to fruition, the university will be the owner and have control of Simmons Bank Stadium. The city will maintain control of Tiger Lane and all the parking. And then you have the new Memphis Sports and Event Center, which is being managed by yet another third party. So you've got 3 operators out there controlling the space. But the city, most importantly, is controlling the parking. Yeah. So we got to work through all of that. So those dynamics, again, obviously, we have a good relationship with Paul Young. We've been working with Paul when he was head of, I'm forgetting the exact title of the department in city government, neighborhoods or neighborhood development, something like that. Mm-hmm. Sorry if I don't have that correct. But also through the Downtown Memphis Commission. They've been supporters of us, and things like our Bill Street Parade and our Bash on Bill pep rally. So we know Paul, have a great relationship with the incoming mayor, which is a good thing, because at the end of the day, all business comes down to relationships. We know that. So as things progress, we're expecting to obviously work our way through a contract extension, a lease extension with the University of Memphis, and then deal with the city on parking and all of those things around game day. So right now, as we speak, we think things are going to be very positive from an AutoZone Liberty Bowl perspective. We shall see. Again, we don't foresee any bumps in the road. But the first hurdle for all of us is it's got to get through council.
Yeah, I can't imagine the university going to come in and be like, all right, well, your rent's going way up.
Exactly.
Sorry, guys. We need some money. We're going to raise your rent. That'd be a little weird for them to do that. From your bowl perspective, you talk about there's reasons for you to have conversations with the Big 12 about this as well, and the SEC and whoever else. You've got your new contracts coming up after 2025?
Well, our conference contracts with both of those conferences, SEC, Big 12, run through the 25 football season. So after this year's bowl game, we have 2 more, the 24 and 25 seasons. But that's the case for all the bowls, Eli. None of us in the bowl world know what 2026 and beyond looks like for postseason college football. We know there's an expanded playoff. Other than that, a lot of unanswered questions. And there are issues that are yet to be resolved for 24 and 25 for postseason around the CFP. I saw one of the bosses within the SEC at a game late in the year, and I asked him, I said, when are we going to start talking about 2026 and beyond? And he looked at me and kind of chuckled. He said, we have a lot of issues and questions we've got to answer and resolve for 24 and 25 before we even talk about 26.
So the stadium, theoretically, if everything goes as planned, will be done by the time you have your new contract in place.
You meaning the construction done?
Yes. Right? Because Memphis is planning on playing it. It'll be done by 25, right?
That's what they're. If there's no delays.
If there are no delays, that's the expectation. You're talking about the contract with the conferences will be done. Yeah, that's correct.
So by the time you are doing, so how important is it for you guys in your negotiations with these conferences to have this stadium redone?
And that's what I was referring to earlier, Eli, and I appreciate the direct question when I talk about and commented on how important this is for our overall community, because it impacts all of the users, the university, us at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and Fred Jones in his game. And, facilities are vitally important. It's a very, I don't want to say knockdown, drag out, but it's very competitive in the bowl world. And we know that, just looking at the current situation, in the pool of 6 that we often talk about, Those are our peer bowls within the SEC, and those are the ones we're competing with. All of those other games are playing in NFL stadiums or NFL quality stadiums. I think they're all NFL stadiums as I work my way through that list of the other 5 bowls in the pool. It's Houston, Nashville, the Gator, Charlotte. Who am I leaving out? Tampa. I think that's 5. Yeah. They're all playing in NFL stadiums. So for us to stay competitive at a top-tier bowl game, it's vitally important for us to have those improvements and renovations. And again, just from a community standpoint, look, when the Forum was built, when AutoZone Park was built, the bar was raised for our community. Mm-hmm. Then comes FedEx. Then, the Pyramid was built back in those days as an arena. The bar was raised. Then the FedEx Forum is built. Palace of basketball at that point. So as all of these facilities have been built, the bar has been raised from the expectation level of the user, meaning the fans. That fan experience, and now that's more important as any time in our history of the expectation and the product that we all deliver, and that all focuses on game day around the fan experience and what you're experiencing within the stadium. And to have more premium seating, more suites, all of the other amenities that will be put into the renovated Simmons Bank Stadium, that's just vitally important for us. And again, at some point here in the next 2 years, obviously, we're going to be talking with our conference partners about an extension, and we're going to be compared with the current competition, and there may be somebody else out there. The one with the addition of Texas and OU. I fully expect the guys in San Antonio playing in a dome stadium. It's not NFL, but it's a dome stadium. I expect them to be in the mix, but just because of the geography. So again, the competition is stiff. And this is important for us, as important for us as it is the university, because, we're compared to those other cities, those other markets. And right now, we're obviously lagging behind when it comes to the facility. But that's why we work so hard on events and hospitality and all the other things that we can control. And, it's what was the old rental car commercial, Avis? We try harder. I mean, you got to be old like me to remember that line. But that's what we do because, again, we always tell folks, and again, Tiger Lane has been a great amenity addition to the fan experience. And we tell folks, when you get into the stadium and you get to your seat, you have a great view of the field. You're going to have a great experience. Now, some of the other amenities, and the city has done what it can over the years, and we thank them for that. Whether it was improvements to concession stands, restrooms, all of those fan pieces that are important to the fan experience, those things have been done incrementally over the years, and we all are appreciative of the city and what the city has done, and that goes all the way back to the Harrington administration. Mm-hmm. Now, I've been around that long with the ball. This is year 25 for me, and so, but now the game needs to be taken to a different level, and that's what the vision is for the renovations and setting the tone, setting the facility for not just the short term, but the long term for college football in general, that will be played in that facility.
It's interesting, and I understand why it's where it is in the pecking order, but Orlando, the Citrus Bowl, is not an NFL stadium.
No. But it's an NFL quality stadium.
It's an NFL quality stadium because they've done renovations over the years.
They basically kind of what we're talking about here, but I think they took the whole place down and rebuilt on the same site.
Plus, it's in Orlando. I understand it's in Florida,
great travel
warm weather and all that. But that's not even part of the six. It's above it, and those six are all NFL stadiums, like you said.
Yeah.
You can only do what you can do, and you guys, obviously, with all the events that you put together that coincide with the bowl game, I say every year it's one of the best bowls because you guys do work harder, as you said, and I applaud you guys for that.
Well, they're all NFL stadiums, and the one just down the road from us is going to become a Taj Mahal of
absolutely.
Here in the very near future.
Yeah, our friends, quote unquote. No, they're good. They are friends of ours. Scott Ramsey and his organization with the Music City Bowl, they are going to be the beneficiaries of a $2 billion stadium that's going to be built in Nashville. And, talking to folks within state government that I know, when they were working through that process and the evaluation of, because the state of Tennessee gave them $500 million, $500 million for that $2 billion project. But, the state, again, just as they evaluated Memphis and gave Memphis $350 million for our 2 facilities, they're looking for what's down the road. What's
Super Bowls, all that.
Yeah, what's the return
Bowl,
on that
Final
investment?
Four, everything. They're going to
What's the return on that? So, and so in Nashville, they're looking at, national championship football games, the CFP National Championship.
It'll be there. Yep.
Final Fours, Super Bowls. They will get all of that down the road. And again, for us, bringing it back home, that 350 is important for us. 120 of that has been designated for the project at Simmons Bank Stadium. We're all for it.
Yeah, their competition is not going to be Memphis. Their competition is going to be Atlanta, stealing stuff from Atlanta, from the Dome. But with Memphis, we elevate everything by doing this refurbishment, reconstruction of this stadium, making it state-of-the-art, making it as best as it can be to not only entice events here, but also to just give everybody that great feeling of look what we have. We look. You're right. The sight lines in the stadium are fantastic.
Oh, absolutely.
There's not a bad seat in the house, but it's old, and to be able to bring it into the modern times is what needs to be done. And also think about concerts that'll be coming there and other things that will be added to that beautiful stadium once it's done. But first of all, they have to get it approved.
Absolutely. And just to go back to the Big 12 piece of this, just to put a final point on that, there will be a high-ranking Big 12 official at our game on the 29th. So again, Tiger fans, the University of Memphis, and I say this because I'm a grad, past board member of the Alumni Association, donor of the university, donor of the athletic department. It's like a job interview or an audition. We're here to see it. What do you got? You better come with your A game, and that means fill the stadium. Tiger fans, here is another opportunity that our organization, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, is bringing to our city for you to show your best in front of the Big 12.
Even though this is technically a neutral site, Memphis is in fact the visiting team technically.
Right.
Are they allowed to play, since there is going to be a high-ranking Big 12 official there, that nice video they have of the future of the stadium? That would be beautiful to see.
We haven't talked about that.
On the big screen.
That's a good point. We shall see. We haven't talked about that.
There's a lot of things
a lot of moving parts, but we haven't specifically talked about that.
Yeah, well, you got, I know, big meetings today. It's going to be a busy time for you. We need to take a quick time out. We'll come back with more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. And again, if you have any questions for Harold or questions for us as far as college football is concerned about the stadium or anything like that, hit us up on the Sports 56 listener lines by texting in at 901-360-8255. The Crazy Coop is a great option for hot wings. I think it's the best option for hot wings, whether you're tailgating maybe at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game or any event that's coming up, Christmas parties, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day party celebrations, watching all the big games. You can do it and enjoy the Crazy Coop and the hot wings from the Crazy Coop. It just makes your experience that much more enhanced. 2 convenient locations, 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, and the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. What makes a great hot wing? Well, they got to cook it right, first of all, but it's the seasonings, it's the flavorings, and they have 27 flavors. I said flavorings. The flavors, 27 flavors on these great hot wings, like the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combo of ranch seasoning with a little kick to it. The Mango Habanero, the sweet taste of mango, followed by the heat, or the sweet maple bourbon. The taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. That's just 3 examples of the 27 different seasonings you can get at the Crazy Coop. Put it on the whole wings, the party wings, the boneless wings, those delicious chicken tenders. Pick up some crazy packs while you're there. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. You can order online, pick up, have any of the services delivered to your home or office. They will also cater your events. So again, holiday parties, think about the Crazy Coop. 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, and the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just 1 pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination, has 27 delicious flavors to choose from and counting. Like the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combo of ranch seasoning with a little kick. Mango Habanero, sweet taste of mango followed by the heat. Or Sweet Maple Bourbon, the taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. And that's just 3 of the amazing 27 chicken wing seasonings that you can get at the Crazy Coop in Bartlett at 7199 Stage Road. And now open the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Some like it hot. How about the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or Crazy Suicide? Can't take the heat? Get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or barbecue bacon bourbon. Ask about the $9.99 lunch special. Now those are some crazy good prices. The Crazy Coop, 2 locations, 7199 Highway 64 between Atlin and Kirby Whitten, and 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Family owned and operated, The Crazy Coop, America's premier wing destination.
The Shelby County Sheriff's Office is looking for people just like you to answer the call and start your career as a corrections deputy. If you have a high school diploma and our community is your calling, visit scsocareers.com today.
They call us Big Shelby. We one of the highest paid in the region.
You don't have to have a degree.
The pay here is wonderful. The benefits are wonderful.
I'm really financially stable. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
Yes, I feel very appreciated.
Are you up to the challenge? Visit scsocareers.com today.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Hey, this is Brian Dacus inviting you to join me and Brett Norsworthy this Friday from 3 to 6 at Sissy's Log Cabin, 4542 Poplar. Sissy's brand new store is open just in time for Christmas, and you really should check it out. We'll be giving away a pair of Liberty Bowl tickets featuring the hometown Memphis Tigers, and we'll also have some Tiger basketball tickets for Saturday's game against Clemson. So come join us on your way home this Friday, 3 to 6 at Sissy's Log Cabin, 4542 Poplar with Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
Welcome back, everybody. HG, how long is if it's actually a contract, your secondary contract with the American Conference, how long is that?
They all run on the same timeline. So
they all run
25.
the same. Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be negotiating after that with the new commissioner. What are your thoughts about Mike Oretzko announcing his retirement at the end of the year?
I think that broke last week during the show. To be honest, I haven't heard a whole lot more since then. Really no names have been bubbling around out there. Again, as I said last week.
Oh, that's right. We talked about it last week. Sorry.
That under the circumstances of college athletics and realignment, I thought Mike did a good job. I know he's taken some heat over the addition of Army, what we now know as he was heading out the door. His my recollection of Mike when it came to all the realignment stuff, that he basically took the attitude, he wasn't going to fight it, that if a school wanted to leave, it was, thank you for being a part of the American, and we wish you the best. I mean,
and pay us the money.
Yeah, and there's a fee to walk through that exit door, to walk through the exit. So, again, he came from a network television background, which when he was hired for that job, that was a critically important phase of where we were in college athletics and conferences, and for those media deals to maximize the opportunity, to maximize the dollars. And I think in that regard, I think he did a very good job of that, of maximizing whatever those opportunities were. So I think he can, head to whatever the next phase of his life is, and I think overall, I think you would say he did a pretty good job with the American. Was it ideal? Was it great? No, but again, he did the best with the hand that he was dealt.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think you do, Eli. We talked about it last week, so sorry to bring that back up. But you just mentioned in our last segment about the contract, and the person you were talking with said, hey, I'm still concerned about changes for what we're going to do for this first year of the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, 24 and 25.
So right now, as we speak, it's still set up to be six highest ranked conference champions and 6 at large, right?
I think they're talking 5 and 7.
Yeah, it's going to be 5 and 7.
That's what I'm saying. That has not changed yet, right?
I don't think that has. I want to say it's set in stone, but I'm not 100% sure.
I don't know if they've actually voted on it yet. I don't know when they meet.
Yeah.
I know it's been discussed. I just don't know if it's actually been voted on.
But it will be, right? Because then we obviously with the Pac-12 and
right.
I still don't know what's going on technically with Washington State and Oregon State because they're going to play almost a Mountain West schedule.
They have a scheduling arrangement with the Mountain West. They have, I think, a 2-year window to, I think, get to 8, I think is what constitutes a D1 conference. I think those are the parameters. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with the Pac. It amazes me that on some level that George Kliavkoff is still sitting in the commissioner's chair.
Technically, they still have a conference.
They have a conference.
Which is just bizarre.
But
it'd be real easy to overwatch. They got 2 schools. I can visit all my schools in my conference every week.
But let's say it's good.
He could have them over to the house and have them spend the night. We got 2 guest rooms.
But even if it changes, I know. Even if it changes, then it should change to 7 and 5 for the first year, right? It's 6 and 6 right now. But if it's still, how can it still be considered a conference? Are we saying like if Oregon State or Washington State, one of the two goes 11 and 1, even 10 and 2 with a 12-team playoff as opposed to a 14 playoff, and they're one of the high, they would get in?
No, because they're not. They would not be. They can get in as an at-large, so they can't get in.
So they can only get in
as a conference champion in a 2-team conference.
That's what I'm asking. Okay, so I just want to make sure that technically is not the case. But okay, so then if they go down to 5 and 7, which we expect 5 highest conference champions, the rankings, and then 7 at large.
Right.
It would still include, obviously, the group of 5. Well, it doesn't automatically, but no, it would automatically include one because you would have 4 Power 5 conferences left, not 5, 4, and that would leave 1 from the group of 5, correct?
Yeah, that's why they will go down to 5 because they're not going to do 2 of them.
They're not going to do 2, exactly. Could you imagine, though, like let's say they didn't vote that in, they didn't make that change, and there was 2? The opportunities you have if you're a University of Memphis or anybody in that position. We've talked about earlier the Memphis home schedule and away schedule and conference play, which had to be altered a little bit because of Army's inclusion. I'm not sure if it really affected Memphis at all. We went over that. Looks like Memphis will have a tough road schedule compared to what they had in conference this past year. Plus, they'll play Florida State in the non-conference portion of their schedule. But certainly, I think going into next year, you would have to think Memphis with the moves, the changes that have been made in the conference.
Yeah.
If not the favorite to win it, they got to be right behind Tulane, I would think.
You would think.
There's
Tulane with a new head coach?
New head coach. I don't know about Michael Pratt.
Probably a new quarterback.
Yeah, has he made a decision yet, Pratt?
I don't believe so. I haven't seen anything that one way or another.
Well, we've had fun all year. We did our pick 6. We do it every year. But we're going to have a little fun, just the three of us. And folks, hopefully you'll enjoy this too, because we'll go back and forth with each other. We've decided that we're going to pick the bowl games, but we're not going to pick the bowl games with analysis and in-depth talk about any of the games. We're just going to pick. And we're only going to pick the winners of the games. And we've decided that the loser of this three-way bet will be buying the other two lunch. So, gentlemen, there's a few games coming up on Saturday.
There are.
And then the bulk of the games will start after you're with us next week, Harold.
Yes.
So we'll make the bulk of the picks when you join us next Thursday. But I want to make the picks up and through Tuesday of next week. There's not a ton of them, but there's a few of them. So, gentlemen, if you are ready, I am ready, and we may begin.
Let's go.
We begin with the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Georgia Southern, that's our buddy Clay Helton's team, against Ohio. I'll give you the records. Georgia Southern 6-6, Ohio 9-3. It's always customary to begin with Mr. Grader.
Yeah, I hate to go against our friend Clay, but I'm taking Ohio.
Eli?
I'll go with our friend Clay. I'll go opposite of you.
I am going with our friend Clay as well. We're going to pick the Celebration Bowl, where Howard takes on FAMU. That's the SWAC against the MEAC. Howard 6-5, the Bison. Are they the Bison? I think they are. Florida A&M 11-1. Eli?
Florida A&M.
I will pick Florida A&M. Harold?
Yep, A&M.
The New Orleans Bowl. Louisiana at 6-6. Jacksonville State at 8-4. I will pick first. And I will go with the Fighting Rich Rodriguez's. Give me Jacksonville State. Harold?
Now, Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken, they played in this game. It's kind of like the Louisiana Invitational. They're in it just about every year. But Rich Rod, 8-4. I'll take Jacksonville State.
Eli?
Gamecocks.
Jacksonville State. We go to the Cure Bowl. And you notice I haven't given sponsors. The only one I will do is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Only because it makes it quicker for us to do this. The Cure Bowl, Appalachian State 8-5, Miami of Ohio, great season, very quietly 11-2. Harold?
Miami.
Eli?
App State.
I'm going App State as well. I've agreed with everyone that Eli has picked so far. New Mexico Bowl, Fresno State 8-4, New Mexico State 10-4. The Fighting Jerry Kills. Eli?
New Mexico State.
I will pick. Give me. I want to be different, but I can't be different. Give me New Mexico State. Harold?
I saw New Mexico State beat Auburn. I'm all in. I'm all in.
You
New
certainly
Mexico
did.
State. I sure did. I was there.
To you, New Mexico State looks like a playoff team.
Oh,
I'm
my
sure,
gosh.
in that game.
That day they did.
The LA Bowl. Boise State, the Mountain West champions, 8-5. UCLA, 7-5. I pick first in this one. I'm going to take Boise. Harold?
UCLA.
Eli?
Well, Boise's quarterback already left, right?
I have
Arkansas.
no idea.
Taylon Green.
So I'll take
I didn't know
UCLA. I don't know if I'm sure UCLA's had guys leave already too, but I'll take UCLA.
I forgot to write it down. The Independence Bowl. Texas Tech, Cal, both 6-6. I did the last one. Harold?
Got to go with the Big 12. Texas Tech. Guns up.
Tech. Eli?
Texas Tech and who?
Cal.
This is a home game for Tech. More or
Yeah,
less.
let's go with Tech.
I'm going to go with Cal.
Tech was here last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
With the horse?
They brought the horse.
Yeah. The
Who was
Black
last
Stallion.
year's game?
Kansas and Arkansas.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And Arkansas, as they say.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's last year's game. I can't.
That was a great game, too. That was
Triple overtime,
The
baby.
best
They're
bowl
always
game of the year.
good.
Triple overtime.
They always seem to be good. All right.
I thought those were switched. I was thinking last year was Tech, but hey, time flies.
All right, I'm taking Cal to be different. On Monday, it is the famous Toastery Bowl. Western Kentucky, Old Dominion. Western Kentucky, that's Tyson Helton's team, 7-5. Old Dominion is 6-6. Who am I up to now? Eli. Eli picks first.
Old Dominion.
I'm going ODU as well. Harold.
I didn't pick Clay Helton's team, but I'm going to take the other brother, Tyson, who used to be at the University of Memphis too, right? He passed through here.
You're setting the tone where either you're going to win this thing running away,
I'm going to go over,
or you're buying us lunch. Okay, and then finally on Tuesday, it's the Frisco Bowl.
Yes.
Texas San Antonio 8-4 from the American. Marshall 6-6. I guess Harris will play, right?
Sure.
I mean, he's done his eligibility finally, but it's not like he's jumped into the portal. This would be my pick. No, yes, it'll be my pick. I'm taking UTSA. Eli. Or Harold.
I'm going to stick with the American. Give me the Roadrunners.
Eli.
UTSA.
It is unanimous for UTSA. And that is it, because the next there won't be a bowl game on Wednesday the 20th for some reason. But on Thursday the 21st, it'll be the Boca Raton Bowl. And we'll pick that and all the rest of them next Thursday when you join us.
We will, indeed. I look forward to that. I've got to head off to a meeting. Great seeing you guys. Good conversation. Again, give us a call at the world headquarters of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, 795-7700. Good seats still available. We can take care of you, and we look forward to having folks with us and get your holiday shopping in, and we will chat again next Thursday. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thanks, Harold.
You bet.
Did you know that the 12 Days of Christmas starts on Christmas Day?
What?
Okay, you know
the song, the 12 Days of Christmas?
12 Days of Christmas, right?
Did you know when did you think the first day of Christmas was?
I thought it was 12,
leading up to the right.
I thought it was leading up to.
So
This is after.
It is. It's the first day of Christmas.
I never knew that.
Is Christmas Day. So you guys you would be the 5th day of Christmas. You're 5 golden rings, right?
Yes, 5 is 5 golden rings.
You're 5. You guys are on the day of 5 golden rings.
I
feel so privileged for us to have that.
I bet you
position.
10% of people know that.
I did not know that.
I didn't know it either. Zach, you didn't know it, right?
Nobody knew it.
No.
The person who told me yesterday knew it.
Did you Google it up and
no?
confirm that?
Somebody called me yesterday and told me first day of Christmas is. Oh, I did then confirm it. Yes.
Yeah, because yesterday I was saying
January 5th is actually known as like the 12th night or something like that. Like that's the 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah, yesterday was the 13th.
Never
so
knew
I was
that.
like, it's okay. Now we can start the 12 days.
I have lived a very sheltered life. I did not know that.
We all have.
Did not know that.
To be fair, we all have. Nobody. I don't know that. No, nobody seemed to know that. So
thanks, HJ.
All right, guys. Take care.
I have given you something to take to
Absolutely.
the meeting. So take that to your meeting today.
Yes, I will do that. I will share that. I will
throw
share
that out there.
with
By the way, guys, did you know that the first day of Christmas is actually Christmas Day? You'll sound smarter.
I'm betting with the gang of people you're going to talk to, none of them know it either.
Probably not. We'll see. See you guys at the Tiger game on Saturday.
Thanks, HJ.
Take care.
This hour of our program brought to you by Acura of Memphis, located on Ridgeway at 385, online at AcuraMemphis.com. Great cars, great people. That's what you'll find at Acura Memphis. Always it's a great car buying experience every single time, whether it's a new vehicle, pre-owned vehicle, whether you're leasing a vehicle, whatever it is. Talk to the great folks at Acura of Memphis, and they will take good care of you. Maybe you need service done. Hey, they got a great service department as well. Always taking good care of you and your automobiles at Acura of Memphis.
You know, we did quite well in our pick 6 this year, but watch, just throwing out picks with not knowing anything about really this teams or doing a deep dive into who's playing, who's left. We'll probably do much better than we would if we studied the thing and handicap it. That's just the way gambling goes, betting on games or picking games, no question. We'll come back, wrap up the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour in today's edition of Sports 56 Mornings in just a moment. Right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Memphis, home of the Blues, world-renowned barbecue, and award-winning craft beers. Now you can take a dive into these great libations with City Brew Tours Memphis. City Brew Tours Memphis offers a craft beer adventure with behind-the-scenes access to local breweries. See for yourself how craft beer is made, learn about different styles of beer, delve into beer history, and discover the secrets behind the Memphis brews. Best of all, with City Brew Tours, you will take your taste buds on a journey with beer tastings at each brewery stop, complemented by local snacks to munch on. City Brew Tours handles transportation to the breweries, too. You drink, they drive. Looking for the perfect gift idea this holiday season? Treat your loved ones to an unforgettable experience. A local craft beer tour with City Brew Tours Memphis. Head over to citybrewtours.com/Memphis and brew up your craft beer adventure today.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. Thursday night primetime football will be played in the Nevada desert, where the Las Vegas Raiders host the Los Angeles Chargers in an AFC West matchup. Both are 5-8 and looking for answers for the future. Kevin Kugler and Hall of Famer Tony Baselli will call the action on air and on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting parlay bets together, hammering the overs, and anytime player touchdown bets always have me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Open that one. It's from me.
Holiday instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. Best gift ever. Wait, these tickets are already scratched.
Yeah. It was me. I was just so excited. But look, we won!
'Tis the season for epic cash prizes. This year, give the most winning gift of all. Holiday instant games from the Tennessee Lottery. Oh, what game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Now, this is the weather Sunrise was made for. You can enjoy sunrise downtown on Jefferson or sunrise east on Poplar all year long. But there's something special about tucking into a hot, fresh, delicious breakfast when there's just a bit of cool in the air. It's true for lunch, too. There's nothing like a perfect burger when you've got your coat hanging on the back of your chair. You know the food at both Sunrise locations is made just for you when you order it. And now you can enjoy it while you're not being outside in the cold. Warm up with some Sunrise.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
A couple of texts here. One texter says that Vincent Hunter was between Stan Collins and Salisbury at White.
Yes, Vincent Hunter. Okay.
But John Varlas did confirm Salisbury is the longest tenured now.
Okay.
Another texter says there's no way in hell the stadium gets done by 2025. They aren't even ready to start. Well, if the the vote, if they get the thing done next week,
they're ready to start.
They're going to be ready to start on their original timeline. The original timeline was to be done for the 2025 season. If they get started right after the AutoZone Liberty Bowl or whatever, you're talking basically about 20 months to get it done for the 2025 season. And there may end up being delays or whatever, but and that was the original plan. That was their original timeline, that they started now right after this season, right after the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, that it would be done in time for the 2025 season. So I'm just going by what they said.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work to be done, but it's not like every single thing is being renovated in that stadium. And they'll work on the home side of the stadium. So there'll be a lot of construction going on in the 2024 season, during the 2024 season. But, yeah, I think they can get it done. I don't think there's any question in their minds they can get it done. But, yes, if there's a delay, then that's a problem. But if they get the council vote and everything goes fine and they are ready to go right after the AutoZone Liberty Bowl wraps up, if they feel they can do it, who am I to say they can? So in that AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, as Memphis plays Iowa State, Seth Hennigan comes into the game 290 yards shy of tying Brady White for number one on the Memphis Tigers all-time passing yardage list for a career. Brady White's at 10,690. Seth Hennigan has 10,400. Obviously, if he doesn't get the 290 or surpass that, he has all of next season, as he's already announced that he will be coming back. But I'm looking at the numbers, and we know the game of football has changed into a passing game. The top 6 passers, career passing yardage on Memphis's list, have all played between 2016 and 2023. Brady White, Seth Hennigan, Danny Wimprine, Paxton Lynch, Riley Ferguson, Martin Hankins. Some played 4 years like Danny Wimprine. That's why he's ahead of a guy like Paxton Lynch or Riley Ferguson. But those are the top 6. White, Hennigan, Wimprine, Lynch, Ferguson, Hankins. And then you have to go back for number 7 to 1983 with Danny Sparkman. But there was one other quarterback who between 2016 and 2023 is on the list.
Why did you say 2016? Danny Wimprine did not play for
2006, sorry. Between 2006 and 2023, there is one other quarterback that played during that time who is number 14 on the list. I guarantee you would win a lot of bar bets with this one. Who remembers Arkeelan Hall? Arkeelan Hall played 2 years, 2,607 career yards. He is number 14 on the list, but he is the only one between 2006 and 2023 to be on that list.
Folks, this year when it comes to jewelry for Christmas, head on over, see the folks at Genesis Diamonds, and you're going to see, when you get there, an amazing selection when it comes to diamond engagement rings and all kinds of great jewelry, including pre-owned Rolex watches. You're going to get great prices all the time when you're over at Genesis Diamonds. And for this holiday season, 5 years, 0 interest financing is available. That's right. And that's for everything in the store. All GIA certified natural diamonds, all lab-grown diamonds, everything you can imagine, including those pre-owned Rolex watches. You can get 5 years, 0 interest financing, so you can make your money even go further this holiday season when you're getting that engagement ring to pop the question, or you're getting that special someone some piece of fine jewelry. Go see the folks at Genesis Diamonds and take advantage of 5 years, 0 interest financing. Located at Poplar and Perkins Extended, it is Genesis Diamonds.
Yeah, let me clarify again so I'm not, people are like, wait, what are you saying here? Other than those top 6 that I mentioned, the only other one between 2006 and 2023, and he happens to be number 14, so he's in the top 20, is Arkeelan Hall from 2008.
This afternoon, well, I guess coming up at 11 and into the afternoon, Johnny Radio's happy hour today is going to be over at Top Gun out there off of Whitten Road. You could go by. He's going to be giving away some tickets to the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game. Also going to give away some tickets to the Memphis-Clemson game on Saturday. So go see Johnny Radio from 11 to 1 today out at Top Gun off of Whitten Road.
Big thanks to Sean Coleman, Parth Upadhyay, and Harold Grader for joining us on the program today. We're back tomorrow to wrap up the week. John Varlas will join us. We'll talk Tigers with Matt Dillon. Brandon Lang will join us to handicap the NFL weekend plus 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. All coming up tomorrow on the program starting at 7. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next for Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd. I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everyone.